I don't like puppets. My father was once a puppet for a puppet regime. That's why I never did the Muppet Show. Ah.
This is how it is today on Pop Culture Minefield. This is how it is today. This is how it is today on Pop Culture Minefield.
Hey, it's Monday. Hope everybody made it through the weekend okay. I checked on Don Ecker today, and he seems to be doing a lot better.
Good.
Thank God.
He wanted to call me, and I said, "No, we go live in like 3 minutes." So I'll tell you what, I'll call you right after the show. We're talking about Predator today, and I'm hoping he's doing better because, boy, I got to tell you, man, going through COVID without medication, no, thank you.
It's a shame that he had to do this.
I blame the VA. People want to know what it's going to be like going through socialized medicine. The VA. The VA is a microcosm of what government socialized medicine would be in this country. And every country. People die on waiting lists. And it's just fucking wrong. But hey, we're in a good mood today. And I am just so glad that he's doing better. That's all I got to say. So Pope is out there pissing and moaning because we're doing Predator today. Yeah, fuck Gerry. Well, fuck you too, buddy. I love you. Hope he's enjoying this job because I know he was not enjoying the last one.
Right.
But I'm going to be selfish for a moment. I'll be fucking quits this one too. He comes back because I love it when Pope's here. I have such a good time with him. I know you guys do too. He's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's nothing more fun on a Monday morning than trying to discern what somebody just said to me with a mouthful of chew.
Yeah.
Wait, what did he just say?
What was that you just said, bro?
I hope he hears this. Me shitting on him. Nothing will make him feel better. Nothing will make him feel better than me shitting on him. So I see Glenn is here. What's up, my friend? Glenn was first in the house today? No, Sci-Fi Mombi was.
Sci-Fi Mombi.
Ah, look at that. Morning, Sci-Fi Mombi. And
we should have flipped this background. Because Arnie, we should have flipped this background because looks like Arnie's giving Anima the stinky eye.
Well, he is.
I don't care.
Says, I heard what you said about me, making fun of my rural accent.
He sounds terrible in this movie. His English was so bad.
Talks about me like I'm some sort of like rube.
Screw your puppet.
I speak high German.
Isn't he Austrian? Isn't he Austrian? Yeah.
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 That's why Anima can have so much fun busting on him.
Oh, she does.
You probably know exactly where he's from.
We were watching it yesterday, and she goes, "Oh, I cannot believe his accent. It's so bad."
It was bad in the 80s.
I like
it because
I got to tell you, it made, like I said, it made him a star, and he knew it because they wanted to give him those lessons to help pat it down and make him more American, like they did with Dolph Lundgren and other actors from Europe.
Yeah.
And they helped them conquer their accent and speak. Even though they could still have a hint of their accent, it made them sound more American. But not Arnold, man. He's like, fuck that. If I can make a movie with Danny DeVito,
Right.
I'm a star. And he was. And you know what? Arnold didn't need these things. He didn't need movies to get rich. He was already a multimillionaire when he started working, trying to make
He was
career in
in
film.
real estate, so he had already made his
He
fortune.
was so fucking rich in the 70s. Even doing the Mr. Universe contest, he didn't need to do that. This is a guy that wanted to conquer everything, which is why it's so funny to me, you know, his disdain for a certain other rich guy. Because it's like, they're really both like guys who didn't pay attention to other people and followed their own, you know, path, their own trajectory. And I admire that. I've always, you know, despite some of the stupid fucking shit he has said over the last few years
And done.
I still fucking admire this guy in his life.
Well, yeah, he's really the embodiment of the American dream. He came over here, didn't even know English when he got here, and look what he became. I mean, he conquered everything he attacked, man. The only thing he couldn't conquer was politics, and I really believe that he wanted to change the law so he could become president one day. I really think that that's why he married into the Kennedy clan. You know what I'm saying?
It is. It played a huge part in why he married. And it's the only thing I've always thought was bad, because he didn't marry out of love.
Right.
If he did, he wouldn't have cheated on her.
Exactly.
So,
but yeah, I was a huge fan of this guy from the Mr. Universe days onward, man. If you've never seen Pumping Iron, that shows you a lot about what this dude's about. He didn't even go to his father's funeral because he had a.
And you know what? It was hard to like him.
Yeah, he was
because
a prick.
of his interaction.
Right.
His interactions with Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah.
And Lou Ferrigno's dad was a prick because he worshipped Arnold and would just sort of like ignore his son when Arnold was around. And I remember as a kid watching that going, "Man, you don't ever do that to me, Dad."
Right. It's uncomfortable,
really
man.
hurt.
But all he's doing is psyching him out for the competition, though. That's what he was doing.
That's all he was doing, because he actually really did like Lou Ferrigno. But anyway, this movie, one of the most unsurmountable odds he ever had to conquer was beating the Predator. But thank God the writer and director were on his side. I'm going to let that joke set in.
Yeah, got it.
Because he wouldn't have if it weren't for the writer and director.
Right, if it weren't for the writer and director. Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Van Damme supposed to be the Predator?
You're wrong.
Yep.
No, anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
The Muscles from Brussels? Wasn't he supposed to be the guy?
Yep.
Well, caveat. So, Jean-Claude was in this movie, and it is said that there are a couple of scenes of the Predator that's actually Jean-Claude, but because it was heavily digitally, well, what they did back then was just visual effects. They did some amazing shit with how to make it transparent. Wow. And he may be in two of those shots. It's been debated. Like the one where he's running is possible.
That's what I was thinking. The one where he's running at the camera. Yeah.
And but he found out that he was not going to get to do mano a mano with Arnold fighting. And he quit. That this wasn't his shot at co-starring with him. And oddly, because he was short.
Yeah.
He was too short. They were going to need somebody taller than him to fight Arnold. So once he found that out, he was out of there. There's no point in doing the movie, because he wanted to do a mano fight with Arnold, because it was a fantasy, because he fantasized. I mean, you heard the stories of how he stalked Stallone, right?
No.
No.
his property to talk to him,
Wow.
ascended his fence and shit. And he thought this was going to be his shot with Arnold, and found out it was for naught, and he quit. So that's that. So we didn't get the muscles from Brussels in this film because it wasn't meant to be. They needed somebody tall, and they got Kevin Peter Hall, who did
How
a
tall is that guy? Is
job.
he 7 feet tall?
He's
Oh,
great. What?
Wow.
I think it's was more than 7.
Really?
I'll go look it up.
yeah.
It's not that hard.
And
You said
have you
his
seen the pictures of Van Damme in the Predator suit, who looks more like an insect than a reptilian?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And his
Uh,
alien suit was so weird looking
7 foot
because it was an
2.
insect. It was an
Yes.
insect, and it
Uh,
got altered to what we then see because of another famous special effects makeup artist.
It still sounds like
Anybody?
an insect, though. They kept that.
I don't know.
They
I don't know
kept the
who did
clicking
Oh, the
sound.
sound, yeah. The clicking.
I don't know who was the makeup guy. I don't know.
Oh, I thought already.
Rick Baker, maybe? Tom Savini?
I'm going to give you guys a second to figure it out. Somebody in the audience may know, and then I will show you.
And Joe,
Oh.
another thing was the heat in the rubber suit was killing Jean Claude.
Oh, I'm sure.
He
absolutely
pats
sure.
out several times.
Wow.
Okay, everybody's had their chance. Oh, Slasher Fred.
No. He's talking about
Oh,
suggestions
saw-
for.
I saw Terminator, and it made me think you said the answer. So here's your answer. It was Stan Winston. He was on a flight. Oh, God damn it. He was on a flight and speaking with the guy in charge of the effects makeup for this film. He says, we're having a huge problem. Can you help me out? And so they did. Hold on. I got to fix this.
Okay, so now I am the Predator.
Are we not using? Oh, God damn it, Martin.
What?
I go through the trouble of making these things, and then I just had to create a whole new one because we weren't in the right window. There we go. We're in the right window now.
I just think that
So-
the makeup
I'm
in this
still the
show is
Predator.
awesome.
There. So basically, Stan Winston did a sketch on an airplane, and that sketch led to the Predator that we ended up getting.
I think the
And he was-
crustacean mouth is cool, man. I love it.
Well, it's a two-part mouth, almost like the alien, because he has the attachment mandibles that grab, and then the regular teeth that do the biting.
It's ugly as fuck.
It's
Well,
kick-ass.
you know, we got to hear that from Arnold himself. You an ugly motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
So there we have it. Stan Winston was a beast when it came to doing makeup,
Yes, he was.
and he helped direct the movement towards the Predator window because they had this insect idea that I think was a terrible idea. I like that they kept the sound because it's reminiscent of Locust.
It's freaky.
Yep.
The
And not
noise
only
of it.
that, but the composer of the soundtrack put that sound into the film. So you actually hear
The clicking, yeah.
in the orchestral music, a clicking sound.
Mhm.
It's part of the music.
Now, here's another fun fact. The clicking was made by voice, by a renowned voice actor. Oh yeah, the
Wow.
guy who I think it was the original voice for Megatron or Optimus Prime. I can't remember which one of those were. And he made all the sounds. And even in his old age, I saw him in a video in a Comic Con, and he replicated that like nothing. It was awesome.
Well, I'm not surprised about that because it's such a cool sound, and it's reminiscent of the. I've met one person that could do this. That when you make that sound, I always go with 3. It's a triplet. But I met a guy who could do 1 pop with his voice, and that is what that sound reminds me of. Is that popping we do when we go low bass? One of the few.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true.
It's absolutely true.
Well,
Now,
she
I
was
will point
flat.
out.
She didn't have anything.
Okay, so before we begin with the slideshow,
Get to the chopper!
So, in the film, the producer kind of led the casting director, kind of pushed the casting director. The dream was to get all Vietnam vets to star in the film. That was the original goal. Oh, and this film also has a very similar opening to John Carpenter's The Thing. The difference is one ship flies off and the other one is dropped. It's a drop ship down to Earth.
Right.
So the alien ship never goes down. It's going on to another thing. And it drops this guy down.
This vacation spot.
He had a weekend to kill.
Yeah.
Got a weekend to kill because that was the slug line or the tagline for the film Predator 2. He's come to town for a few days to kill.
Oh, man.
now, as I can remember, this is the only film featuring a predator in which they do not land. They just send him away in a pod.
It's amazing because that's exactly what I just said.
You
but
were
with
talking
new
about.
words.
Oh, you were talking about you. Oh, fuck you. You were comparing this one with The Thing.
Yeah, I said the difference was that instead of crashing, the ship drops a drop ship with the single predator,
Yes.
then flies off, is what I said. It's
not the same-
amazing what you hear when you listen to me.
No, what I said was in the other Predators movies, this ship that you're seeing here, or the mothership, always land.
In the other films, but not
Yes.
in this one.
In this one,
And
you
that was
see this
never the
one.
intention. In fact, it doesn't really make sense why the mothership lands in Predator 2, because it's the one Predator.
I watched
Or in
Predator
AVP.
2, and I've never watched anything else.
AVP, it makes sense because there are a lot of aliens, and they're going there as a team to tag team some fucking aliens. But in Predator 2, I never understood why the ship was there.
I didn't understand Predator 2.
Well, Predator 2 is not that great a film. Fun film. It's fun. Check your brain at the door.
Right. Check
You
your
got
brain.
Bill
at the door.
Paxton fighting a predator with a golf ball. Come on.
What?
That's a winner.
Why
That's
is
a
the
winner.
Predator in a city?
Winner, chicken dinner.
Why is
Bill
the Predator in a
Paxton.
city? He's trying to stay stealthy. He's trying to stay out of sight.
It made
I didn't
no
understand
sense.
the concept.
Made
There's
no
only one
sense.
Predator movie, and it's this one. That's all I know. I didn't
like
watch any other
Predators.
Predator
Well,
movies.
back into the real world where Joe forgets to live.
Hey man, the world is
So-
what you make it, bro. Okay.
So as I was saying, and Martin seemed to add something to, the Predator ship drops a single Predator down to go do some killing while they go off to another planet to fuck some Mandorians or some shit.
It's probably a
And,
resort ship. They're just dropping people on islands, you know.
This is
It's a
Space
cruise.
Uber. This
It's a
is a
cruise.
Space
Space
Uber.
Uber. There you go. And it is neat that he is sent down all by himself. Fend for yourself, motherfucker. Don't come back. You know, and it's not like they're going to go down to pick him up. It's the one thing I think they don't handle in the film and kind of forget that he came down in a drop ship. And it just, they don't address it. Maybe it wasn't important, I don't know, to them that there's an alien ship out in the middle of the jungle.
And why just drop the one alien?
Well, the reason why is, you know, they are a hunter species. So it really comes off as, well, have fun. Hope we see you.
Yeah.
You know, good luck. Go get some kills. You know, if not, die well. And of course, when they die, if they're not completely dead or have their arms severed, they set off a small nuke to dispose of their body.
Really small. That was giant.
It was the size of a tactical nuke. It was, because we've set off nukes, tiny ones. We use them in the military.
Okay, I'll let this roll.
Yeah, on the television screen. Yeah. And of course, this is the image, just like with The Thing, where you see, you know, the crescent Earth going into night and a lone ship heading down to the surface.
Burning into the
That was-
atmosphere. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was neat. Both films start the same way.
Yeah.
Andy Morrow is here. Slasher Fred, Scribe Light. Sci-Fi Mombi is here. And of course, my good buddy, Glenn.
And wait.
Look at
And by the way,
name.
at the beginning of my book with Richard Bonk that he drew, that we have not released yet, but I'm going to, is starts off with a helicopter coming in exactly like this. And the guy disembarks from the helicopter with a cigar on purpose as a nod to this movie. Hello, Snorty.
What's up?
Now, was this the film, Anima, that he offered to do the German for, and the German-speaking countries were like, "No, we're good.
Yeah.
We've got our own voice actor for you that speaks good German."
Don't tell me the accent, right?
Well, he speaks
He's
a
very
very
rural.
Yeah, he speaks a
very-
dialect.
He's kind of a country
is-
boy in
Yeah.
Austria.
I don't think he's even able to speak high German.
Unlike in America, where we love our country people and their accents, Austria hates that accent.
No,
Makes
the
him
problem
sound
isn't
dumb.
Austria. Austrians would be fine understanding his dialect, but Germans wouldn't. And I don't understand it because I can do well with most German dialect, but Germans are really stupid when it comes to understanding Austrian dialect.
Well, to be
So-
honest, Stranger Things is borrowed from so many classic 80s sci-fi horror films.
Oh yeah.
So it's true, Slasher Fred, but they borrow from, and I don't want to say borrow, they do homage to a lot of classic sci-fi films in
Yeah.
the 80s. And I love that. That's why I like Stranger Things. So Alan Silvestri, by the way, I was getting ready to go into that and I forgot to come back to it. Alan Silvestri imitated that sound with orchestral instrument. I can't remember what it was, but it is in the film soundtrack. You can hear, and they'll play the notes, and then you'll hear like an echo
Yeah.
of the theme played by another instrument that sounds almost insect-like the way they did it. That was done intentionally to imitate orchestrally what they did with the sound effects with the Predator.
Yeah, that thing there is pretty cool. It's a staple of the soundtrack.
And there is a clicking sound to it in the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Now, of course, they wanted all Vietnam vets when they first started the casting process for this. And I will point out that they do have one legit Vietnam combat vet, Chavez. And he plays, that's Richard Chavez. He plays Pancho, the bombs explosives expert. They do have another guy who served during the Vietnam War, but never saw combat, but he is a Buds graduate and is considered by Don Shipley. Anybody who graduated Buds is a Navy SEAL, and that is Jesse Ventura. Even though I feel later on, Jesse Ventura shamed the Navy SEAL honor that he got by suing the widow of Chris Kyle and taking money out of hers and her children's mouths.
For pure ego reasons, yeah.
Pure
Jesse
reasons,
the Body Ventura.
Because, Chris Kyle said some shit in the book that he couldn't back up about a confrontation with him in a bar. And agreed, he had every right to sue him. Once Chris Kyle was dead, he should have dropped that fucking lawsuit.
Well, I believe so too. Yeah.
It's dishonorable what he did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got to take the widow to court, and the kids got to be there. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on, man. Well, he's always been full of himself, man. Jesse the Body.
Always.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do what he did if he wasn't. But
No.
he did serve in Vietnam, not in combat, and he did serve during the war, and he was a Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
So Jesse Ventura is the one carrying the dismounted handheld Gatling gun, which was not real.
Puff the Magic Dragon.
I do believe it was a modified M60 that they put the rotating wheel on.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And they added the sounds later. The whirring that you hear with the Gatling gun and the way it fires. Hey,
So
Mephisto, did you send him an invite? Send him an invite.
So they took one of those.
Is he not in the group?
Oh.
So they took one of those and put the rotating gun barrel on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in
It's
that
fake.
group. I added him.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope you can join us, Mephisto, because this is a classic film.
Either way, I'm sending him an invite directly. So, Meph, check your DMs.
So you had three
we have-
members. Good morning, Penny. You had three members of the main cast who are military veterans, Arnold included, because he did. People go, well, he served, but that was mandatory. It's like he could have
Still
left
did
the
it.
Yeah.
country.
So
He
what?
What
left the country and
are you
not
telling
done
me? Everybody
mandatory.
got drafted during
He
Vietnam? Didn't serve?
He served. Yeah, like everybody volunteered in Vietnam. It's like, I don't understand why that's important to mention. It's not. He served. Now, it's true. He did go AWOL. He stole a tank and went AWOL in order to make it to, because he didn't have a car, he didn't have a ride, needed to get to a competition. And he did.
So
They forgave him. They forgave him.
So he was the original Stripes.
Oh God.
He was the original Stripes.
Just to
Oh, no.
clarify, there's no draft in Austria, but you can do the military.
It's
or you can do
mandatory
social
service. It's mandatory
Yeah, but you
service, which is
don't
what I
have
said
to go
too.
to the military. You don't have to do the military thing.
You don't
can do
have to.
social
He
service,
chose-
It just takes a little longer.
He chose the military and he chose armor. He was a tanker. He drove tanks, which is why he owns tanks in his private little sanctuary.
Oh wow, he's James Garner. He's got his own tank he can drive on. Cool.
He's got more than one, man.
That's
He
cool.
loves driving around and crushing shit.
You remember that movie?
Back.
You remember that movie,
fuck
Tank?
that tank.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Oh no, I never heard of that. Who's in that?
Well, at least there was a Sherman.
It was. One of these days on your show, you guys should do a review of the underrated horror sequel, Child's Play 3, because yes, it's military school. I like that film.
Wow.
I have talked about it with Tom, that I'm very fond of that film. It's the last in the series for me.
Yeah. Speaking of military schools, have you ever done TAPS?
No.
Oh yeah.
I would like to, but I really despise Sean Penn.
Oh, yeah, but there's
But
so
I'll
many
still
other
do
good
it.
people in it. Oh man.
Well, Tom Cruise is, my God, that scene when he fucking yeah.
It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
That's
Crazy.
some insane acting right there.
Yeah.
George C.
I like
Scott,
Ronnie Cox in it, man. I like the National Guard.
Ronnie
man.
Cox is in
Yeah.
it. You've got Timothy Hutton, who I have always liked.
Yeah.
I like his dad, Jim Hutton. I always liked Jim Hutton. And Tim was a chip off the old block. So we end up there. And by the way, you know what? I got so busy yesterday, Anima, I never finished the videos.
Oh crap.
Yeah. So is what it is.
We shall
One-man armies, can't get everything done. So I let it go. So we have this great intro, which leads to one of the most masculine handshakes in the history of Hollywood between Carl Weathers. And I'm going to point these out. Okay, so when they began casting, they got Chavez to join. He is an actual combat veteran from Vietnam, did a full tour in Vietnam, saw combat. They got him. And then they got Jesse Ventura, who is a Navy SEAL, served in Vietnam. Then they got Arnold, who, of course, served in the Austrian army. But then they wanted Carl Weathers because he was in Rocky and he was awesome. And he was as big, if not close to as big as Arnold. And then they got Duke in there, Frank Duke. Is that his name, Frank? Or no? What is his last name? Bill Duke. Bill Duke to join because Bill had already worked with Arnold and they had a good rapport in the movie Commando. And so he was brought on and he ends up playing Jesse Ventura's Battle Boo. They're like best friends in combat. Let's see. Who else was brought into the cast? Sonny Landham, who never served a day in his life, but is a certified psycho in real life.
What?
They hired a security detachment to be around Sonny during the entire shoot, not to protect him from anybody, but to protect the cast from him, cast and crew, because he's that fucking out of his mind. He has a reputation. He's friends with Joel Silver, the producer of the film, and that's why he's put in the film. Then you got Shane fucking Black, who's brought on really for one reason and one reason only. There's Shane. That's Shane Black reading a comic book. He was brought on with hopes that they would be able to convince him to help work out problems with the script as they go along. And he refused.
So they killed him.
All he did was do additional dialogue for his character or change dialogue for his character and added more background to his character, which led to some really funny stuff. It's good stuff. But it pissed off the producers and the director so much that he was killed early because they wanted him off the set. They were so angry with him that he wouldn't help. And so he had that going for him.
put a trivia question in the chat. Who's the artist singing "Long Tall Sally" during the ride? Who's the singer?
Oh, that's what's his name? Gay pianist. Singer.
Little Richard.
Little Richard.
Little Richard, baby. Yeah. Love it.
A lot of, and you know what? Bill Dukes actually starts mouthing the words later.
Yeah.
From Long Tall Sally.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Bill Dukes does something that a lot of us in the military actually do. It's called dry shaving out in the field.
Yeah.
You don't always have access to water to shave, so you see him dry shaving all the time. And one of my sergeant drill instructors in basic had the worst scars of anyone I ever saw on his neck from dry shaving.
Was he too a sexual tyrannosaurus?
He was not. He was a tiny guy. His last name was Schmaltz. And he stood about 5'8". I crap bigger than that guy.
Wow.
And it was so funny at graduation. Before graduate, oh, I love this scene where he spits on. Nobody likes fucking CIA guy,
No.
and Jesse's character spits right on him, right on his boot. I love that moment. But so at before graduation, we all went to the parade grounds that night, and we all got a shot at making fun of our drill instructors free of charge, no punishment. And the person that was voted to do the best impression got the full weekend, and second and third got one night to go on leave. And I got second. I should have got first because I did my drill instructor, who still swears, you know, that I didn't sound anything like him, but everybody knew who I was doing when I made fun of him. And I actually did a comedy routine with it.
Which means you were right on the mark.
We had a guy break his leg on a forced march, and I was the one who treated him, and we took him back to the barracks and then had to have him medevaced out. And he comes into the barracks walking up to this guy and gives him this fucking speech, man. One of the greatest speeches I've ever heard that I couldn't figure out what purpose it serves. Where he's like, you know, I jumped out of a fucking plane. I broke both my legs on that jump, and I still managed to march and blah, 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 soldier shit. You need to soldier on, motherfucker, kind of stuff. And I'm like, I'm not saying that what you're saying isn't totally true, but I know you didn't march on two broken legs. That's fucking humanly impossible. You could do it on one, because I did that. I did it on a broken ankle. But anyway, so at graduation, I did him giving a lecture to a soldier when he mistakenly puts the condom on a banana wrong. And he gives this speech about jumping out of a plane, crashing with the ground, impacting with the ground, becoming one with the ground. He says, I'm not saying I hit hard, but I completely inverted my body, which isn't so bad on any day of the week, but on any rainy day, I about drown. And it cracked everybody up because I made it up on the spot. And I still got my Saturday leave, so that was good. So Long Tall Sally is playing.
Or was he injured?
Him in real life? I don't know if that really happened.
That was a joke.
It was just a good story. But he never got the banana, the condom on the banana. That's the important part of the story. It never got put on there. So Mephisto is here. Welcome, Mephisto. I was telling how Sonny needed security to protect the crew from him, cast and crew, because he was that dangerous.
Who? From
Sonny
who?
Landham. He was so psychotic. He had a reputation of being such a badass that the studio was forced to pay for security to make sure the cast and crew were safe from him.
Wow.
Who was he?
He's the
big Indian.
The big Indian, Danny. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the porn star.
Porn star, really? Wow. Ooh,
Oh
didn't know
yeah.
that about him.
Don't you know?
No.
In
I
the
just know I
70s,
love him in this movie in 48 Hours. Okay. I love him in both of them. So,
in
Yeah, him and Gans
the
tearing
70s,
up the town.
That's it. And he's
in the
got the
70s,
same buck knife in both movies.
in the 70s, he was a big porn star. Like not Stallone porn star, he was porn star.
Right.
Yeah. Imagine that I watched this and 48 Hours when I was a kid, and when I was a teenager or after, I was like, oh,
Oh,
what's
shit.
Billy doing here?
Yeah. Did I say Danny? Yeah. Billy. That's it.
Billy.
That's him. Yeah. Mhm.
I'm going to tell you
I
something,
knew it
11
was
Alpha. By the way, good morning, my friend. The sergeants you get in reception are all failed drill instructors, and they all have a chip on their fucking shoulder, and they will just double down the punishment on you because they resent the fact that they don't get to be real drill instructors. And I did not like them. They all had something to prove. They're like reserve female drill instructors. We had one, and actually we had two of them. We had a tall, skinny one, and we had this short, stout little female drill instructor, stupid fucking Australian jungle hats with the fold up on one side. And none of them could fucking do cadence worth of shit. They sounded like my mother when they would go, all right. They would always go, all right, down. And it just sounded really weird when they would do the all right at the end of the cadence. And I'm like, oh, that just sounds like I want to dance like this. Hi. Doing DNC with this, what do they call that? Not a swagger. What do they call it? Swish. There you go. I'm going to swish when I march. I did not like them. They felt like they had to be meaner than the regular drill instructors. And they just scream. They screech at you. Screech, high pitch. It really impacts your ears. There's something smoky about drill instructors when they start yelling because their voices become more hoarse. But not women, not the females. So again, what's going on here is a helicopter has crashed in the jungle. And for some reason, the CIA has picked Dutch's team to go in and do this. And he blows smoke up his ass because somebody told the guys that in command that you are the best at what you do. And what it is really, when it comes down to it, is he's using his friendship with Dutch to manipulate him and trick him into doing this because the CIA know way more than what they're telling Dutch. They're telling him this is a delegate, blah, blah, blah. And this team needs to be rescued. And they go down there, but as they begin to find things out, conflict arises between Dutch and I forgot his name, Dylan. Dylan. You know, Dylan and Dutch become very confrontational with one another. And the team already doesn't like him. So when Dutch starts, it's almost like open season to fuck with him once Dutch doesn't like him. He gets angry at him.
Bill Duke's character already, he already saw through the facade.
Oh,
on the plane ride there before the drop off. They was like, he was already eyeballing Dylan the whole way through.
Yeah. Now I'm going to point out that what's his name's character? Jesse Ventura's character. What was his character's name? Blaine. Blaine just didn't like him because he sees him as a pencil neck fucking desk jockey. You're not military,
Right?
You're spooking. I don't like you. I'm going to spit on your boot. But Bill Duke's character absolutely sees through him from the beginning, and he also delivers the best threat.
Yeah.
You give up our position one more time, I'll
You
bleed
ghost
you.
us one more time, motherfucker. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'll bleed you and leave you.
Bleed you
Yeah.
and leave
And I don't
you.
think he says you feel me, but that's what he should have said.
Yeah, he should have.
Feel me?
You're ghosting us, motherfucker. Yeah. What a
So
great
this is a cool
cast,
scene.
man.
Look, man, these guys, a lot of people don't know this. I'm going to tell you guys. They trained as a team for close to 8 weeks
It shows, man. It shows. It
before the
really
movie,
Mhm.
learning military tactics. Now, I was very critical of this, and I ended up finding out that I was incorrect because MP5 is not a very good combat weapon. And don't get me wrong, H&K makes some wonderful weapons. I don't consider the MP5 one of them. But I found out that U.S. Army Special Forces do use it still to this day. And I'm like, really? There's so many better weapons out there than the MP5.
It's good for close combat.
That's it. It's not good for what they're doing. And it felt really weird to be carrying an MP5 into a jungle.
I'll ask you a serious question, a serious military question, because I know what our guys are using. They're not using MP5s just because we don't.
But you guys made one of the greatest machine pistols in the world.
We don't. No, I mean the special units. They don't use HKs because we don't have a contract with them. So it's easier to get other stuff. Plus, we already make one of our own. I don't know the designation of it. I know the Hebrew name for it.
What, the Galil?
No, that's a terrible weapon.
Well, I was trying to figure what weapon you're talking about.
I don't see now. I forgot the name, but it's it has the short version and it has the long version, but the magazine is situated at the back, so the whole thing goes all the way. So from the inside, the mechanism goes all the way to the back, and then most of the barrel is like into the arm's length and outside. So if you want the short version, like the close range version, it's super short.
It is, I think it's a clone of the Steer Oak.
Right. Look, I'm going to tell you right offhand.
No.
I know that the Israeli IDF use standard M4 and M16A1.
Yes, that's for sure. I mean,
they also carry a weapon called the X95, and many of them carry the M16A2. But past that, I don't know anything else. I know that you guys made the Uzi 9mm.
Uzi's not good and has not been used.
To me, that is a close quarter combat weapon, only for close quarter. I couldn't see it being useful for anything else.
It's like,
because then you've got to start extending the barrel, and then like, why do you have a machine pistol? You're
it's
going to extend the
the
barrel.
equivalent of a shotgun, man. You're not gonna.
No. I mean, I'll show it to you.
You're saying
It's
spray
pretty
and pray.
gnarly. I've shot one when it was a prototype. It was I was in doing some.
You guys also have a bullpup design one. I don't remember the name of it. It's
so, look, the long version is the upper one. It's this one, and these two are the shorter versions. And you could find one at a regular army. One of the divisions has it. It's all about how much they can actually pump out, because they do, like I said, they do have certain contracts with Colt to get like surplus M16s and A1s or A2s or whatever. So they do have some like Colt manufactured ones for sure, but these are especially for special units. They got it first, and then it kind of trickled down to other units, because the long version, it's actually the long version is as accurate as a regular M16 one because the barrel is roughly the same. So the boring inside is pretty similar. And it's a 556, so it fires the same caliber.
Yeah,
And it's
Well,
pretty
it's the same manufacturer that makes the X95, as I recall, because their bullpup design means that all the mechanics are in the rear stock.
Yeah,
and which, by the way, I got to tell you, has one great point to it, which is less recoil, because the recoil is in your shoulder, so you're able to stay on target better.
I've shot the longer version, the one that was on top. It's very interesting.
That's the TAR 21. That's the original Tavor. Tavor is the manufacturer. And I do believe that is an Israeli company, isn't it, Tavor?
It is. It's the Israeli industrial whatever. I don't know what it's called. Maybe it's IWI. That's what it's called. The Israeli weapons industry.
Now, I will point out that the Iwi X95.
There's a micro version of these three. It's even shorter. It's not.
It's the Iwi X95. It is classified as a sub machine gun, the same as the Ingram and Uzi.
It's
and
super close quarters.
It's this small.
I think I've seen it. It's super close quarters, and it's just getting into like storming houses and all that stuff.
Yeah, just spraying bullets. Yeah, that's
it's
all.
Again, do you call it CQB when you're in the U.S.? CQB specifically is for urban combat. It's close quarter battle tactic, and all of us
we have different designations, different lettering to do whatever.
Because I know you guys have trained with this. And because I remember a buddy of mine that was one of the instructors up there in Washington at the Iraqi village that was built up there, where they did all of their main CQB training for, all the forces would come over there. And IDF came over there and trained with the U.S. in that area. And it's the reason why is because it is the closest facsimile of Iraq and Afghanistan for combat. So it's the best place in the U.S. to train for CQB.
Even I went through these kind of trainings that like storming to house, how you like what are the signals, but it's like regular. It's not every day that you train for it, but you do have that in your arsenal of things that you know what to do. Because there's so many houses, here the Palestinian populated areas are super dense. So you've got so enough special units that you go through. Plus, I was in demolition, so yeah, you might need to know the signals if you're.
So you were like Poncho in this movie, because that's what Poncho was. Demolitions.
I'm combat engineer, so I know how to rig demolition. I know how to use mines. I know how to use claymores. I know
highest level I got was how to make a claymore, put it together, and that was
pretty
fun.
easy if you know what you're doing.
Although it is pretty idiot proof because it says point in this direction.
Yeah,
there's instructions like that also on the law rocket. Point towards enemy. Serious, they're idiot proof. Yet still you find stupid people.
And what's funny, in Falling Down, there's that scene where the kid shows defense how to open the stuff.
Right.
And he says he saw it in Beverly Hills Cop 2. And yeah, in Beverly Hills Cop 2, Billy takes out this rocket launcher at the law and was like, okay, pull here, clack, pull this pin. Pull this and click this, and clicks it, and it fires. the comedic element is that it fires in the right direction into the massive truck.
Sure luck. Sure
Illegal
luck.
weapon. Yeah. Yeah, but it was a funny scene. But I shot a law rocket. It's pretty simple.
My favorite scene with a law rocket in it is from The Enforcer, when
Oh, yeah.
they're at the test,
He
and
grabs
Clint
her.
Eastwood grabs the chick. She's standing right behind it. And he pulls her out of
The
the way.
back
right at the
blast
last
area.
second. Yeah.
What are we taught in the U.S. Army? Clear the back blast area.
That's it.
Fire.
Yeah. Too funny, man.
So 11 Alpha points out that he used to know the Hebrew term for CQB and mount, because that's what we call it in the U.S., CQB and mount training. And the funny part is we say CQB, but technically it should be CQBT, because it is called close quarter battle tactic.
Mount training is the one we did at McClellan.
It's the same.
Yeah.
It's still the same. It's
Yeah.
mount and CQB are the same thing.
Mhm.
And the highest level we got was using a plasma charge to blow a hole in a wall and create what's called a mouse hole, where they expect you to go through a window or a door. They don't expect you to come through the wall right next to them. They never expect the Spanish Inquisition, man.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Exactly.
Well,
So
the way
I
we-
want to get back to this because I paused the movie because this is an essential scene. This is when the narrative that Dylan has given starts to go south quickly because nothing is correct here. And there's no tracks. This is the thing that freaks Sonny's character out because it's like there are no tracks for us to follow.
Yeah, but
And-
they still go towards a direction that kind of heads towards a village.
What they consider the obvious direction.
Yeah.
Because it's not the direction they just came from. And this seems to be the obvious direction because there's a path.
Yeah.
And a couple of things that are shown in this film. Anima asked if this was true that you could do that. Yes, you can cut certain vines and drink from them. Cactus is another one. If you're out in a desert situation, you can get a lot of fluid from a cactus.
Yeah, but
insects.
some of them you have to be careful because they have the
Saps are toxic.
saps, the white sap.
Central America, don't you fucking cut a vine and drink from it. I'm going to tell you that right now. South America, you know, even Mexico, I think you can get. But once you get south of Mexico and north of South America, like where I was in Honduras, yeah, I had to give lectures. Don't touch the trees. Don't touch any of the insects. Don't touch anything. If you got to sit against something, if it's not a vehicle, sit against each other back to back. Don't sit against anything indigenous because the saps here will rub off on your uniform. Then it'll touch your skin when you go to wash your uniform, or you're touching your uniform and somebody else touches it and you're sick or dead. So I like this guy's boonie cap, the way he's wearing it here. This is very Vietnam.
Wore
They
those
find
on
the
Jackson
bodies.
Island, man. Yep.
Can't really show that on YouTube, dude. You got slapped.
We'll probably get ganked for the gore.
So
Fucking-
funny. I had to redo a video just because it's a horror film, and the last girl had a little bit of splatter. It's dumb, but okay.
A sapper is a weapon. Cam scratch courses.
That's fitting to say. Mm.
Sapper is me.
Yeah, sapper is self-defense weapon. It's
Oh,
a
no.
small weapon.
A
Hold your
sapper
hand,
is
you
also a
hit
guy
people.
that is a demolition expert. Not an expert, but a demolition
Oh,
guy.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
John the
It's-
Beagle Dad is here.
It used to be that, you know, do you remember the scene in the first scene in Saving Private Ryan? When they're stuck on one of the trenches, they're calling for sappers to activate the bungalows, because the bungalow is basically a pipe bomb that you just light and you just push it away. And what it does, it just explodes. If it's on the ground, it just moves ground and like small mines, it just moves them away or just completely destroys them, or either activates them or just completely destroys their mechanism so it's not activated. So you can just run on the path of that pipe bomb. See?
I'm sorry. I was just looking at that shot of Jesse Ventura.
Yeah, sapper is a military unit. It's a combat engineer. I'm a sapper. But luckily, I had some help because I let's just say I know a guy from our sapper. We'll call it a sapper special unit. But yeah, they know their shit, and he's like, okay, what they teach you is very simple. Let me show you a different way, and it's faster, and it's almost foolproof if you want to like make something explode. And I told him, why do I need this? Because I was like young. And he said, well, you never know. And I thought, that's interesting. Okay, let's never know. But it's cool stuff. You can do some cool stuff without,
Yeah. Now, just so you know, my great nephew, Eric Fox, I went to his graduation from AIT at Fort Leonard Wood because it was right down the road. Zoe and I went to celebrate his graduation as a combat engineer. And I still didn't know about them being called sappers. For me, a sapper is a weapon.
I am registered as a weapon.
Oh my God, I knew you were going to fucking do that. I'm like, boy, I set him up. Let's see if he takes it.
No longer. I got my military, report that says you are no longer needed. And of course, once the war began, it was like, hi, it's so-and-so. We need you. It's like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, nobody wants black coffee until then they have to stay up all night. Then all of a sudden, it's all the black coffee in the world.
It's their own fucking fault for not listening. Never mind.
Oh, hey, 11 Alpha. One of my best days in the Army was when we went out to the range with some engineers and spent the whole day blowing things up.
That
sounds like fun.
That's the best day.
Practical application.
There are a few days where you train as a combat engineer that are the most fun days because you get the basic stuff, which is explosions. And then when you go to do let's say the more advanced stuff, which is it's basics again, but you do the more advanced stuff, that's where they allow you to experiment with blowing other shit up, which means, there's a yellow smoke grenade. Let's see if we can blow that thing up in the air. And it just makes a yellow explosion mushroom. A small one, but a fun one because it has the extra smoke bits in it. By the way, going back into the movie, I think the first time ever that they used this heat method, I'm not really sure they used the real one or they used an amalgamated.
It looks really similar to what FLIR looks like.
It does look very close, but remember, this is 87. Maybe they shot it at a very start of 87 because I don't remember when they released it.
They shot it in 86.
86. So
it wrapped it in early 87.
The real thing was very rudimentary, and I think it only got various blacks, grays, and whites, and they added in the color. I don't I don't have my research notes from when we did this movie like a while back, but I think we discussed that it's very rudimentary and they didn't have the colors. So this whole idea of giving you let's say the hunter or the murderer's point of view, because if we compare it to like a horror film, this is the murderer's point of view, and it's very unique because it stalks them, but not in a regular way. And the fact that you set this thing up allows you to have that last act or the last scene where he
I will tell you this, though. They did use a thermal camera in this film. They used thermal.
All I know is the friggin' for its time, the special effects in the show were off the chain. The way they
What I think they did is they shot it and then they added the colors later.
They probably inverted the colors or something. Yeah, it's probably
they did something, but they used the thermal camera because you actually see thermal footage in one shot where they're looking at the thermal screen.
Mm-hmm.
It's live, and that is actual. Very similar to night vision, what they did, and I wasn't sure if they used because back in the 80s, what they had was Starlight, an early version of night vision.
Yeah,
and so I wasn't sure how they pulled that off, but there's some really good shots in the film, and it becomes part of it because we learn very quickly that the Predator's helmet sees a certain way, while in reality, here it is, right? I'll bleed you real quick, leave you here. Mm-hmm. I love this threat. This is the greatest threat delivered by anybody in a film. Bill fucking Dukes, man.
Mm-hmm.
Who delivered one of the worst lines
in
he delivered one of the worst lines, followed by an even worse line by Arnold in Commando, which is, I was a Green Beret, motherfucker. He says, we ate Green Berets for breakfast. And I'm like, I wouldn't admit to that. It sounds gay. No. Jesse with that fucking machine gun.
I love it. You said it's a modified M60.
I think it's an M60, but it is not real. They did not have a handheld minigun back then. So they made that as a prop with that fit over a real firing weapon, and they added the sound effects later.
Well, the sound effects I know are not real, but because you know where they stole it from, it's the same. Sound effects that they used on one of the helicopters in Rambo 2.
Really?
Wow. Which one side had the M60,
which is perfect because that's what it would sound like.
It's exactly like that.
I'm going to share with you the prop because I do believe that it's for sale or it was already sold by a collector.
What, the knife that he needed to stick around with?
Fake gun, the fake minigun that fit over the weapon. There it is. That's the prop.
All right.
And it had its own little motor inside to rotate the barrel. And what it is that center barrel was fitted over top of the real barrel of the machine gun.
Okay. So did they use the same thing in T2?
No, I think they used a real. By the time they did that film,
that looks like it's a real thing.
Someone had done it for real.
Yeah, I'm asking because it looked real proper in T2.
And it sounds proper.
Let me look that up real quick.
Yeah, it sounds proper. Yeah. Man, I seen a real demonstration of the bigger gun, the one that they use for either on ships or on like anti-aircraft gun, and that thing is insane.
Is that the one they call Puff the Magic Dragon?
Yeah. Well, here you go. Stan Winston's school said that the gun used by Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2 is the exact same prop that was made for Jesse Ventura.
See?
Huh.
Holy shit. I didn't know that.
It looks real. It sounds good, like Joe said.
Yeah. They obviously changed the sound. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, I guess.
Mhm.
That's funny.
Yeah. Wow. Cool.
Now, okay, close quarter again. This is hand-to-hand stuff here. All this is really good. The first thing you do, though, when you are in a situation where sound is essential to avoid, the first thing you do is damage the throat and make sure you have access to their mouth. In
Yeah,
this
'cause
given
the guy can't yell.
situation, when he grabs him, he would stab him in the throat to avoid that guy making any fucking noise. Same thing with the previous guy when he gets killed. He doesn't grab him by the mouth. Those were a couple of mistakes that are made. You don't do that. You've got to prevent noise from being made.
But you know why these little inconsistencies happen. It's sort of like you can't do the same kill over and over again in order to do the initial infiltration, because it's boring. And the hand on the mouth, it just looks, first it looks different, and secondly it kind of looks like, yeah, he can do it, you know. They would
So
probably
right here, this scene is so cool when he spins and cuts that fucking belt with his knife.
Yeah.
Reaches down, grabs his blade, and spins like Conan and fucking cuts right through this thing. It is I don't know why I fucking love that moment in this film. The spin and cut.
Yeah.
And I just
Great.
fucking love it.
Mm-hmm.
This is also really one of my favorite scenes, because what he does here is really clever. Is he takes something that, if it broke loose, would do exactly what it is, so they don't think anything about it.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, we gotta stop the truck. It broke loose from the log,
right?
man. We gotta stop it. Hey, what's in the back here? In this little satchel. It's
What is
beeping. It's beeping.
It's got a little red light. What the hell?
Well, the cool part is you think that it's a timer, but actually, if you pay attention, he just clicked the detonator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it uses a short band radio. It's a radio detonator. It's not wired, hardwired. Because in the military, there are two kinds of electric detonators. One that's connected and one it's not. You know about that, Mephisto. If it's not timered, if you don't have a timer on it, that's what it is.
If you click it, boom.
Yeah.
Now,
and I love that about claymores, because you gotta click.
Yeah.
One thing I love about this scene right here. Am I the only one that noticed there's a part where he's just walking through and he hits a short burst and like 3 guys get shredded by this little burst of bullets that he throws.
Well, if you pay attention though, when he does that, he goes like this.
Yeah, but I mean, look,
he
waves
waves the end of his weapon like a magic wand.
Blow everything up.
He moved it like a magic wand, and Harry Potter does the motherfuckers.
It's so funny though.
And I don't know what the grenade launcher, is it M30? I don't remember.
No, the M203
that Arnold
has. An M203. It's attached
the M203.
To an
M203. Okay,
I had one of those. I got my little award for being a grenadier, man.
Grenadier, yeah.
You know what's funny? He's not carrying incendiary rounds. He's carrying regular rounds.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Man, the explosions in this are great though. They're awesome. Big orange.
They're typical Hollywood explosions, though. Yeah, because anybody that served and was around any explosions knows a bulk of it is debris and smoke.
Right.
And then you might see a little flash somewhere in the middle. Hardly ever see flames.
But what makes these so great is, it's all like grass huts and stuff. So there's a lot of fragmentation of the building, man. It looks really cool. It does.
Yeah. The best part of this film is the fucking combat. Yeah. Only thing that pisses me off, and this is something that Schwarzenegger psychologically did because he wanted to show how tough he was. So whenever you see him fire a weapon, there's no recoil
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, but
And it's like, it's not
the
real. It's
you-
so Hollywood.
the stuff that they used in the magazine was did so much. When you see him fire the weapon, first of all, it's on automatic, which not used, but it causes so much. There's so much fire coming out of the end of that gun. They must have used specialty.
No, they do. In
ammo
Hollywood,
for it.
they use hot loads. The reason why is because a lot of people don't know how movie cameras work, that it is open to take a picture exactly the same amount of time that it's closed. So you are only seeing half the action. And so often, if you use a regular load in a pistol or a weapon, you won't see the flash. So they have to use hotter loads. That's why what happened to Brandon Lee was so bad, because what he was hit by was with a hotter load. And it did even more damage than a normal bullet would have done.
Yeah.
So, but going back to this combat, there's a lot of, you use full automatic for suppression. You don't use it in combat. Combat where you see guys firing full automatic, they're not targeting, and they're firing for suppression. And like the logic of this gun is just fucking insane. It's like other than completely destroying everything in front of you, a minigun has no purpose in combat. It really doesn't.
No. It's just the whole scene looks as intended. It just looks like a cool combat scene. And this is what it's John McTiernan, right? So he did this, and then he did right after this he did Die Hard. And you can tell he knows how to direct action.
Yeah, no doubt.
The whole scene is fantastic.
By the way,
the dialogue
is the guy right there that made Lethal Weapon, that created Lethal Weapon. That guy right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's all looking good, sounding good. The one-liners. It's like, I have no time to bleed. It's like, really?
And this also leads to 2 fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger James Bond lines where he does the one-liners. He sticks a guy to a pillar, wood pillar, with his fucking sword knife.
Mm-hmm.
Stick around.
He throws it at him, impales him to the beam. Yep. Stick around.
And he wanted a bigger knife than fucking Stallone.
Right. Gotta have it.
In Commando, he's like, it's sort of the same size, but in this one, he's like, I want a bigger one. Give me 2 more inches.
Now they're finding out why Dylan has actually come.
Yep.
And seen here.
Because he sees the guy being executed. Yeah. They had one chance at hostage rescue, and the guy gets executed. And clearly, that guy is not South American that pulled the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
He's Russian.
Mm-hmm. Dug in like an Alabama tick.
Man, it's just the whole scene is fucking great.
Yo, Blaine, you're wounded. You're bleeding, man. Ain't got time to bleed.
Ain't got time to bleed. There's a reason why.
You got time to duck?
Right? There's a reason why ex-wrestlers are so good at acting, because they've been doing it for years. Because half of wrestling is acting. So
it's theatrical athletics.
Yep.
Because you got to be good at fucking athletics. Man.
And Jesse the Body Ventura was a great wrestler. Let there be no doubt. He was awesome. Yeah. Even better as a commentator during wrestling events afterwards. He was great at it. But yeah,
I woke up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, used to be somebody I could trust. What happened to you? I woke up, man.
Yeah, wow.
Are you saying you are woke?
Right? You saying
Carl Weathers is not woke.
No,
You
God
stick
rest
around
his
too,
soul. We
then.
lost him. We
Was
lost him this year,
the
man. We
Yeah.
lost him.
Yep.
Yeah.
He passed
He
away.
stood up for Gina, man. In
Yeah,
his
he did.
way.
Yeah,
In
he
his
did.
way.
Oh,
in
he
his way.
did. No, he absolutely did. There's no other way to interpret what he said as defending her.
Well, I saw it as a defense but
I did.
I don't know. People,
She cites him as a mentor, though. She
Yeah.
does. Yeah. Mhm.
I bet you know what? Gina, I don't think Gina has ever lied. I haven't caught her in any lie in
Mhm.
any of her interviews that I've seen. So if she says he was a mentor, I kind of want to think he is, because I have never heard anybody say a bad word about Carl Weathers
Me either. Yeah.
anywhere.
Mhm.
So
Nope.
I think my favorite Carl Weathers story was Stallone on the set of Rocky when he came in, and that Carl Weathers, like, I hope you get a better guy for the movie. That guy's terrible. Commenting on Stallone's acting. Which made Stallone laugh, is that he loved Carl Weathers, man. And when Carl Weathers learned that he was the writer, producer and star, he chilled out on him.
have you seen the Sly documentary?
Yes,
It was
it
amazing.
is so much better than Arnold's. Arnold is like, both were on Netflix, and I expected his to be better. It got political.
What, Arnold's?
Arnold's got political in the final episode, and it pissed me off. Started talking about global warming and wokeism, and I'm like, you cocksucker, fuck you. I love him, but fuck you. This scene is great, the scorpion, and I saw somebody commented on this. I love the way they did this, because the scorpion gets left there, and then the predator walks up and is fascinated by this, and he's been recording the sounds. And what you find out in the end is the predator is a mimic.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because without the helmet, he does the voice of Sonny later, laughing like him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, that wasn't something done by the helmet. The creature itself is a mimic. It
Yeah, I'm sure
it does a perfect Arnold too, when he says, what the fuck are you? Repeats it back at him, because he is saying the same thing to him, because you beat me.
Yeah.
You beat me. And so he repeats the line back to him.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. So I'm not sure, but the way I believe this scene was done, I've watched a lot of making of on this film. In fact, Anima and I watched some just recently. And the scorpion was done in two ways. That when the predator hand reaches down for the scorpion that's there, the scorpion is removed, and when by the hand being in front of it, you don't see it anymore. There was already a scorpion in his hand for them to do what they did, because it's not in the same position. It's in a different position in his hand, and it goes cold. The heat leaves the body, and that is one of my favorite effects in this movie.
Where you see the warm hand and the cold dead body of the scorpion. Yeah.
Right. And then the other thing I like is this is the scene where they become aware that he hears the mimicking.
Yeah.
And he stops and
He's
listens.
copying Billy's laugh. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's fucking crazy, dude. I love everything in this film. This is despite some of the I love this one. This is the big pussy joke. It's an
almost perfect film. It's got a few Persian flaws in it, but yeah, man, it's pretty damn awesome.
It's like, man, I said to her, your pussy's so big. Your pussy's so big. She goes, you didn't have to say it twice. He goes, I didn't. And then he looks at Sonny. He goes, because it's an echo. It's an echo. It's so big, it has an echo. And Sonny goes, and he starts laughing. And then the predator echoes that laugh, and it makes him stop, because that's when he becomes aware, because something was bothering him all along, because he is a tracker. His character is a tracker. And I talked with Anima about this, that humans do have the innate ability if they use it. It's not a sixth sense. It is just, we can sense density. Our human body is a human barometer. and we can sense the slightest change in things, pressure, and we can sense sometimes, if you pay attention to your senses, when somebody's looking at us. Not just peripherally, you get that feeling. There's a change in the pressure, and your body picks it up. And I've picked it up at times. I scared the shit out of my dad one time. We were living just outside DC. We'd gone to see The Sting in a big movie theater. It led to a funny incident with the bathroom, because embarrassing shit always happens to me in public bathrooms. And when I was a kid, just funny.
Where
shit.
did he touch you, Gerry?
So where did he touch you? So on the way home, I noticed something. Something got my attention, and I kept peeking behind us, and I saw somebody following us and trying to hide. And I told my dad, and then my dad looked back and he goes, "How did you notice that?" I said, "I don't know. But I've always been a kind of person that just senses things with, the slightest change in things." And I was told that it's because I'm empathic. It has no psychic ability. There's nothing psychic about it. It's just I'm sensitive to things, people, the energies they give off. And
Speaking about
scared the shit out of me, because my dad, he says, "Stay close to me." And he was worried that he was going to have to fight this guy and get between us. And thank God our apartment was right around the corner. So we got there. Yay. Didn't get attacked.
Speaking about changing things, did you talk about who's in the suit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we did mention that early on. It was Jean-Claude Van Damme, but Van Damme found out that he's a short motherfucker, and they weren't going to have him fight Arnold. They wanted him there for some stunts and to do the trees and running and shit. And in fact, I am positive that's him running towards the camera in one shot and also one up in the tree, because there's a weird shape to the body that looks different from the others. He doesn't look as tall.
There is some footage of him in the suit.
Mhm.
You don't see his face, but I'm not sure they actually used it or were allowed to use it.
There's a rumor that is 2 shots were used in the film.
Yeah, there was that rumor, but I'm not sure they were legally allowed. Maybe they illegally used it and said, "Well, it's Kevin."
Why? Because of the visual effects being added to it, there's no way of telling.
Yeah,
there's no way.
I'm guessing that if they did use it, they probably said, "Well, we already shot it. Nobody's gonna know." Like the editor and this maybe even the sound effect, like not the sound effects, the special effects guy.
They're the only ones who would know, because they manipulated it so much. There's no way for Jean-Claude.
Yeah. Plus, if you didn't know he was signed to do the movie, you wouldn't know who it is.
Yeah. Now this is where it looks like Bolivia to me, or Colombia. Those cliffs.
I don't remember where they actually shot it.
That was shot in Guatemala.
Guatemala. Yeah. I knew it wasn't Bolivia.
Hey, wasn't Salem's Lot in Guatemala?
Guadalajara?
Guatemala.
Yeah, I know.
Because that's where they went at the end.
Way different area.
They fled to Guatemala. I love the jungle footage in this. And again, I want to point out, they trained for about a month and a half doing the military shit. Every morning they would get up, they would run 5 miles, and then they would eat chow, and then they would train doing military shit. And on top of that, Schwarzenegger created just some crazy fucking workouts just to fuck with Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
He did it just to fuck with him, to get in his head. And it's just, I love the stories of behind the scenes shit with this movie. This is my favorite part.
You know, because he was still competing with Stallone. So he said, "Well, Stallone got you through Rocky. I'm gonna get you through a different sort of training, because you're with me now." But man, dude, everybody here that had a little bit of a body on them looked great. Carl Weathers looked great. Even Jesse looked great, even though he's pretty much covered.
Somebody mentioned earlier that all the males had bigger breasts than the woman in the film. Yeah.
Yeah.
Than the one female in the movie.
Yep.
And she is a device in the film as well as a character. Her character is to show you fear of something. And it is done when she tries to escape and that thing gets shot. From that point forward, she doesn't try to escape anymore. And that's important psychologically. Now, you see right here, he's already aware something's following them. He's aware of it. But Sonny stops because he sees it there.
Yeah, they even say, what got Billy spooked? And he's like, we don't want to mess with anything.
And he's got his juju bag, which I've heard about this. This is something in their medicine bags that are, certain people in tribes carry these things. They'll have like hair or herbs or plant stuff in it. And they're meant to protect you. They're given to you by a shaman. And I love that they put that in here.
Yeah, that's cool.
And again, I want to point out, Jesus Christ, the way he holds a weapon when he walks up to Sonny, pointing it right at him. Look at that. Pointed right at Sonny.
With
terrible,
the finger
discipline.
On the trigger.
Yeah. Fucking terrible discipline. It's like you are fucking aimed downrange at all times. You do. Oh my God. So they had the military training, but somebody fucked up there. He was armor, so I forgive him for that. He wouldn't have carried a sidearm. He wouldn't have carried a main primary weapon. But his primary weapon was his driving. God damn it, I love Bill Dukes in this. And he's still alive. Bill Dukes. Oh my God, he's in his 80s. I love that guy so much. We have so many people from this film. And one of the saddest things is we lost Kevin Peter Hall in 92. His last film, and he announced it to the cast and crew while they were shooting that he had been diagnosed HIV positive.
Oh.
And he died from HIV-related, AIDS-related complications.
I think it was pneumonia.
You don't die from AIDS. You die from something you acquire.
Yeah, he died from pneumonia, I think.
Pneumonia is when sarcoma is another one. It's a cat cancer, and humans began to get it because of the HIV virus. Because HIV means human immunodeficiency, the virus. His death, like I said, was not supposed to happen here. But he would not help with the script. And so the director and producer said, he fucking dies now. I want him off my set.
Really?
Yeah, they were pissed at him.
Because it was not helping with the writing?
They wanted him because they knew how good a writer he was. And they needed his help on things. And he made them do their own work, refused to do anything other than work on his own dialogue. And...
Wow.
It cost him part of his job. He got fired. He got killed. It's the same thing as being fired, getting killed early. Man, I wasn't supposed to die until Page. Yeah, well, you're dying now.
Damn it, song.
One character I was pulling for was
who
Poncho.
was supposed to die? The dude who was his friend?
I'm assuming it was supposed to be Poncho. Poncho survives to near the end. I think that's what they did is they flipped the character. And I think Chavez appreciated that.
All right.
If it weren't for this role, he wouldn't have been on the first 80s TV series War of the Worlds. He was one of the stars.
I love Poncho's line later on in the movie. I can make it. with the busted ribs and everything. He's all smashed up. I can make it.
Well, I never got a medicine bag, but my dad sent me a care package when I was in the Army. It was empty. Because my dad was a prick.
Damn.
He sent it, no shit, dude. He weighed it down with a bunch of heavy, dense paper in boxes. And once you got into the final box, there was a card in there that says, actual care package coming soon. And I'm like, you fucking asshole. Because everybody was excited. Because when you get a care package in the Army, that means everybody in the platoon, well, in your barracks, anybody close quarter, because you don't get to open that shit alone. It's in front of everybody. I hope you brought enough for everybody. That's the Army.
I have to say, it happens probably in every army, because that's what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, it's mail call. Let's see if the girlfriend send us a package. Oh, she did? Well, it's everybody's now.
I told you the story about when I got this picture right here in basic training, right, Gary? I think I told you that story.
They found out about your dad.
Yeah.
I think one of my funniest moments in boot basic was when a buddy of mine, Ursel, he was one of those guys that just, he knew how the war building, it was building up, man. And all of us were getting a little punchy. Like, I volunteered along with 4 other guys in my squad to go immediately from basic. We'll go. We're ready. I'm the oldest guy in the platoon. Well, next oldest guy. We had one guy older than me he was 35. And I'm like, God damn, he was a prick too. I fucking hated that guy. So we volunteered, and they're like, we're not sending you right from basic. You guys, calm down. Calm down.
Right.
So, but I got this package or letter from Ursel, and outside it wrote, he had written all this love personal stuff that was very gay, and it was intentionally done to sound gay. Man, I've never met another man that I felt so attracted to. What we did before you left for basic was one of the hottest things I've ever done with another man, all written on the outside of this fucking letter. And everybody fucking saw it. My drill instructor saw it, and I'm just like, my head just dropped, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I have funny friends that do shit like this. They're fucking with me. All right, this is it right here. Fucking Bill Duke picks up that fucking machine gun and destroys that fucking jungle.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna hit anything, but I'm firing at everything.
You're not climbing up anything, because I'm gonna cut down every tree around you, you son of a bitch.
And they do hit it, and it leads later to one of my favorite lines. If it bleeds, we can kill it.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
That's it.
And it's a great line, dude.
Yes, it is.
And I love these blank firing machine guns. And again, the reason why these flames are so large on these weapons is because they use a hotter load in the blanks, because for the amount of time that the frame is open to the time its frame is closed, the same. So it has to be a huge flash for the camera to catch it.
Yeah.
Because if it's a normal flash, which are usually not very big, and it's fast, the camera might miss it. And you'll see a guy firing a machine gun and there's no flame. It's because for as long as the camera is open, it's also closed. You only see 50% of the action. People don't understand the math of how movie cameras work. There are 24 frames per second in film. That means there's actually supposed to be 48. But 24 of them aren't shot. 24 are.
Yep.
Look at that face, man. Bill, he saw it. You know, his character fucking saw it.
Saw it.
So I saw something. I don't know what. It was there, but it wasn't, you know? And Dutch is like, and I love that they called him Dutch for this film to explain why he talks like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the commands here are good. When they the disbursement, the way he disperses guys. Also, the hand commands are pretty spot on. I mean, you see when he goes like this, that's hold. When you do this, it means spread out.
The special effects on the blood were cool. I'd love to know how they did that.
The
'cause
glowing,
they made it
that was
glow,
post.
Yeah.
It was post.
It's easy. It's Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew. There you go.
Look, if Mountain Dew is that fluorescent, I don't need to put it in my body, bro.
Mountain Dew and Jello. They
Oh,
just
fucking werewolf
made that.
Jeebus. There you go. That's a true
You
story.
had to mention
right
that,
there.
Jeebus.
Finally, my girlfriend is back. I've missed your voice all this show.
Guys,
I ain't kidding. I'm like sitting there like, where's my girlfriend?
guys, just so you know, I'm having fluctuation in power. I may get.
Oh, I thought you were going to have some bowel problems. Might shit yourself.
No, I may have.
Hey, if something happens, don't worry, buddy. We
Okay.
can make the rest of the show without the film strip.
I can make it.
We are only halfway through anyway.
By the way,
It's Gary's fault.
Schwarzenegger did shit himself during the making of this film, during one of those
think
hard
all of them
workouts.
did. I think all of
And
them.
I do believe it was caused by fresh vegetables or fruit that they had. That he got a little bit of Montezuma's revenge. And
You know-
while they were working out, he strained and he shit himself. True story.
I don't remember if it's this movie, but I'm pretty sure it's this movie. He shit himself because of fresh fruit, but it wasn't local fresh fruit. It was fresh fruit that was flown in from California.
Yeah, because they tend to drink flown in
He brought his
water
own
and
chef.
food.
He
So
brought
it
his
was
own
tainted.
And I think this is the one. I'm not sure. But
I think you're right. I think that's what I
about
read
it.
too. I think that's what I read, that it was flown in. Now, that was, to my knowledge, when he attacks, that was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh,
is
when he
what
was
I read.
running through the forest?
When he ran at him the first time in the jungle and slices his throat,
okay.
killing Shane Black's character because they wanted him off the movie.
Okay. Well,
I forgot.
you
I meant
wouldn't
to
know.
mention that.
Yeah, we wouldn't know, but that's okay. I love the fact that they kind of explain how he's sort of a self-sufficient kind of a hunter, where they take into consideration the fact that they can get injured by anything. So it's not like he's got like shields and that sort of thing. He has that cloak, but he doesn't really have a shield. So in case he gets injured from the prey or whatever, he has that medical kit that he can use to patch things up and just continue with the hunt.
We talked about that earlier, 11 Alpha.
Oh.
Because Anima was talking about it, because that was something I was aware of even when I met Anima, before I met her. And that Germany, he offered to do his own dubbing in German. And Germany was like, we're good. We have an actor that sounds better than you, speaks German clearer than you. They couldn't show him shitting himself on camera.
Thank God.
So
Thank
this
the
is
maker.
where Bill Dukes explains, man, I aimed at that thing. He says, I know I aimed at it. So now it's like, what are we up against? And now he understands he's got them in a bad situation and they're going to be lucky if they get out of here. Because they're dealing with something not human. Now he has the shotgun, underbarrel shotgun. We're all gonna die.
We're all gonna die. That's a great line.
And
Billy's
and
kind of like
he
E.F.
quickly
Button. He never
quickly
speaks,
grasps. Oh, I'm sorry. I was explaining about Schwarzenegger's character Dutch understands that this thing is targeting armed people. He doesn't understand the hunting part, but he understands that it's targeting our people. Now, what were you going to say, Joe?
I was going to say Billy's kind of like E.F. Hutton. When he doesn't talk very much, but when he talks, people listen.
Yeah, people listen. There you go. I love this prayer to his friend. You know, he's talking to him, getting a little drunk in the jungle.
Yeah.
And then the fucking the mortar flares go off, and he starts fucking attacking this fucking thing. You hear the screams, and he's stabbing the fucking shit out of it. It's a fucking warthog, which everybody laughs. It's just a pig. Humans can't do this, what he does. It's impossible to do this. Go one-on-one with a warthog that size. It'll kill you. Razorbacks.
Yeah, that thing will eat your ass. No doubt.
Those tusks are dangerous as fuck. And they know how to use them like a bull does. Where's the girl? Oh, shit. They go running back, and she didn't move. She's fucking terrified.
Yep.
And this is where they find out about the blood.
Yep.
Because he confronts her. Tell us, and she's like, oh, wait, no, that's later, isn't it? It's daytime. Yeah. When he grabs her, and he's like, enough of this bullshit. Tell us what you know. And she speaks fucking English just fine.
Yeah, all of a sudden she can speak, right?
And she says, one of your men must have hit it. There was blood on the leaves. And I got some on my pants. And it's green and it glows and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. It's good. If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Right.
Fucking Dutch.
Right. So I've got the information about the getting sick part.
Okay, here we go.
Everybody was sick except for two people, including Arnold. Him and John McTiernan, the director, were not sick because they were the only ones who got food flown.
Yeah, but then how did he shit his pants? Because I know that story.
I don't know if he shit his pants, but everybody on the set got running water from their ass. I'm being polite. They all got diarrhea. Everybody, like the cast, crew, everybody at one point got diarrhea, and Arnold was the only one who did not get diarrhea. Him and McTiernan, because they had their food flown. McTiernan for one reason, Arnold for he's being rich.
All right, I found the article from Slash Films.
Slash Films.
Yeah, but they still have some good stuff. And this is based on an interview. It's based on the interview. Shut up. Jesus Christ. I'm not going to read something that's bullshit. You know that. And I'm blocked right now. Hold on. I got to turn off my... It's ad blocker.
Ad blockers.
How do I turn it off on this? There we go. Pause it there. Now it's happy. With its dude-heavy cast that includes Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers, Bill Duke, Sonny Landham, Jesse the Body Ventura, you might not be surprised to learn that the set of John McTiernan's sci-fi action classic Predator was a daily test of macho metal. The boys went for daily 5-mile runs and hit Schwarzenegger's private weight room, which the former Mr. Universe had transported from Los Angeles for daily workouts that, according to Carl Weathers, apparently descended into muscle measuring contests. There was no let up, especially for the Predator star who felt he had to maintain his alpha dog dominance over all his co-stars. However, his prideful drive embarrassingly backfired on Schwarzenegger when he opted to take his customary 5-mile run despite suffering some intestinal distress. Quote, quote, when you're in Mexico, you eat the wrong thing and inevitably the shit hits the fan literally. So I went on an early morning run. This is from Schwarzenegger himself. And all of a sudden I started throwing up. So I tried to be ballsy, wiped my mouth and continued on running. But then all of a sudden it came out the other side. So I had to quickly run to the side of the road and pull my pants down. I tell you, I was in big trouble that day. So it was not 5 miles that day. It was much, much, much less than that. So there it goes. And he got so sick that he got, it's called hypovolemic shock, is something that can occur if you vomit and shit all your water out.
Yeah.
And
rapid loss of water.
And it's very risky. It's very dangerous. That's why it's important to eat like Jello to get more fluid back into the body, even more than what you just fucking shit and puked out. You've got to keep hydrated. I remember a young Austrian woman who got so sick that I was like telling her different ways to hydrate. And she's like, I am not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Just
Because she couldn't keep anything down. She couldn't keep anything down. And I got so scared of her becoming hypovolemic that I told her that as a medic, one of the things we would do if people became so hypovolemic, we would do enemas with them to get fluids into them quickly. Because people don't know this. This is why it's dangerous to take alcohol into your butt. Because there's idiots out there that do that, and then they fucking die. Water and liquids absorb quicker through your intestines than to take it the other way.
But who does shit like that?
People who do colonics without,
colonics
without a medical doctor present. And yes, have you ever heard of a coffee enema, which is supposed to cleanse you? And it's done
very dangerous. Very dangerous.
It's done with a chick that has just learned how to shove things up your butt and lift a bag. That's her entire training. And if they use a bigger, like if you were super hydrated that morning, then
you could be in trouble.
Risk. It's not fun. It's literally drowning without drowning.
Yep. Okay, I want to point this out. Bill Duke in this scene, one of my favorite moments is when he stops shaving for a second and he's so stressed, but he doesn't know it. He breaks the fucking razor on his face.
Yeah.
I love that moment because he's so hyper-focused. He's just, everything else is not important anymore. And he sees it here. I see it. I see it. And so Duke runs up there and he's going to fucking kill this thing. And oh my God, I fucking love this scene. And Duke's character has one of the saddest deaths in this fucking movie because you're rooting for him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because he knows it's there. But then he sees the fucking 3 dots on his arm. And then he, like, where's that coming from? Fucking smokes him.
Yep.
And then it gets Carl Weathers by cutting his
not in a
fucking
nice
arm.
way either. My God, blows his brains out and it's just,
yeah,
it is gross. It's one of the grossest things on the show.
It spills, literally spills all over the camera, kind of.
It's gross.
Yeah, because it's underneath him. It's underneath him. It just goes all over the camera.
Yeah.
This is when Chavez does this moment, man. He is echoing so many guys from Vietnam that got wounded in combat. I'm good. You know, and
I can make it.
I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna do it, man. You know, and I just get so emotional over this. And Carl Weathers, the co-star of this fucking movie, the number 2.
Yeah, it was sort of unexpected, but you kind of see it coming because karma gets to us all. And he was a real douche. Like, he was a real douchebag in this movie.
This is where Duke starts channeling.
Yeah, he becomes better as we move on.
He starts singing. Yeah.
Yeah, he starts singing Long Tall Sally.
Yep.
I'm going to kill you, motherfucker.
Well, not to mention, this is a slasher movie, so you cannot have too many final characters.
Well, I want to point out again, so are all the Equalizer films.
Yeah.
He is Michael Myers or Jason.
Oh, absolutely.
The bad guys in that film, if you consider them as the good guys, he is the fucking slasher in that film going after Freddy Krueger, fucking all of them rolled into one. Equalizer's your fucking nightmare. But I love this shot right here. I had to pause it here. I fucking love Bill Dukes, man. I love this guy. What a great fucking action actor. He is just so fucking good in anything he's in. Stinging fucking Long Tall Sally. I'm going to kill you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill you. I got your number.
Now.
I know where you are. I know where you are. Well, you knew where I was, but now I'm here.
He's on a mission now.
And that's something I love that Arnold points out. He goes, he's moving in the trees. Right here. He's got that fucking machine pistol out. The useless one. Look how small that mag is. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, come on.
That's not for jungle combat. So anyway, he's got that machine pistol out.
Yeah,
and,
but Bill Duke is in the bush, and
he's underneath, low crawling upside down.
Yeah, and he's
sneaking up on him,
and he's not taking his eyes off of him. Right, he's always looking
right there. He does this,
yeah,
right there, and then so he follows the point of his finger. This is something we learned in the military that I didn't know before the military when it comes to finger aiming. A lot of people don't know that really works. It's a thing.
Yep.
There's something subconscious that happens with the human that when you point at something, you are actually pointing at it, whether you meant to or not. You are actually pointing at it. It's something that happens with your human brain. The human brain does this eye-to-hand coordination. So when you point at something, you are actually pointing at it. If you go and look down like a barrel of a gun and looked at your finger, like, oh shit, I am pointing right at it. So they teach you how to aim that way, that when you hold your finger on the outside of the trigger housing, aim at the target and then fire. And you can hip fire this way. That's why hip fire has become more accurate over time, because guys are trained to finger aim. So he's looking down the barrel of his finger, and he's like, I see it. I see it. He gets excited. There it is up in that tree. And that very well could be that second shot that they talked about that has Van Damme in it. Because you wouldn't know. It's so distorted by the effect that they did. You don't know who the fuck that is. And he looks like he's sunning out on this limb, just sitting there, lounging.
He's drawing them in, dude. He's drawing them in. He's the spider welcoming them there into his web.
You know, I got to tell you something, man. I didn't watch American Gigolo until last year. Last year was the first time I finally sat down and watched. I love the song, man.
Richard Gere movie? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
I finally watched it and I'm like, that's not a bad film. It's not. It's
Really?
pretty good. I'm like, it's not like I avoided it. I just never watched it. I'm not a Richard Gere fan. There it is. It's on his arm. And then he moves his eyes, his face right to where those, and he gets blasted. Oh man, I fucking got so upset. I'm like, man, I don't like that guy. I also like that it's that this thing it's a laser target, but it's also a weapon. And it's like a lightsaber that he can send out and then bring back. And that's the cool effect of it going back, retracting.
Hey, Gary, we're running along. I've got commissions. Take care of yourself, guys.
Yeah, get out here.
Love this movie. You guys enjoy yourselves. Bye.
I'll see you later, buddy.
Bye, Joe.
Bye.
And I'm going to probably jump ahead here. No, it is not one of the best Paul Schrader films, but I am a Paul Schrader fan. I like his work. Okay, 11 Alpha. I like this one. Finger blast has a different meaning too. So Gunners learn to finger aim. Sappers learn to finger blast. I like that one.
Sapper joke. You know why, by the way, Gary?
What?
Because I invite my five guys to the to beer. Because the sappers don't have any fingers. But it's great for finger blasting.
This is the blade, Wolverine's blade. I love this. That was one thing I pointed out after seeing this. I said, now we know what it'll look like if they ever do a Wolverine.
Oh, yeah. But I think it's a double blade rather than a
It's only
triple.
two. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like X-23 because X-23 has two blades.
Yep. Billy's like, all I've got is this knife and my shamanistic charm, so I'm going to cut myself.
Well, the one thing I pointed out is that could have been a ceremonial thing he did, but then I started thinking about it. Is maybe he's doing it to make it look like he's wounded.
It could be also that he wanted blood for face paint, but you don't.
Could be. We never see his death.
No.
And it's the one death I wish we had seen. And I'm going to bet that there's footage of that. But they couldn't get it to work because of the effects. They didn't want you to see the Predator really full on until the fight with Arnold. And so I believe it was a creative decision to take that fight out. So we hear him die and do something that I would have trouble believing in a warrior would do, is cry out. I want Billy Jack versus Predator. Yeah, delivering the line, I'm going to take this foot and I'm going to put it right there on that side of your face. You know what? There's not a damn thing you can do about it. I could cut your leg off mid-flight. That would be a short fight with Billy Jack.
Run! Get to the
run! Get to the chopper!
Did you make any clips at all?
Yeah, I did, but I couldn't get them added. I could try to add them, but I'm in the studio now. I'm gonna fuck shit up. Oh man,
Gary's being technical.
Well, I have to go off camera when I do uploads.
Oh,
even though I have my own internet now here in the house, it still only offers 1 megabyte upload speed per second.
What?
Megabit, not byte. Bit.
He is in the countryside.
Starling.
I'm out in the middle of...
Stick around.
There you go.
Didn't play the full clip. What you do, Gary, is you upload in advance, and to save up some space.
There was no time.
So you can have
no time. That's the problem.
I get it. So you can have multiple clips. You just
because I've got Martin doing the slideshow, and it's like when I start doing the one-man army on things, I run out of time. And
I get it.
I ran out of time. So here we go.
Bitches dug in like an Alabama tick.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Okay, I'm going to do the other clip that goes with that.
You got time to duck?
Love that scene.
Oh man, so good. Man, the
This scene-
one-liner from just one movie is insane. This
Oh,
scene
without
where
a
he
doubt.
figures out it's all about the heat.
It's by accident because he ends up going through the mud, and then he's
Yep.
like looking because this is a clay mud. This is really close to the same stuff they use for those retreats where you lay in the mud.
It is.
It's very
It is
thick and it's
pottery
got a
clay.
lot of clay in it. Yeah,
He was
and
miserable
so that's why
filming
it's
this
on there so
because
thick.
he got so cold filming this. So he drank tea with rum in it, but that just got him drunk. That didn't warm him up. So that was a hard part.
Alcohol doesn't make you warm, really. It lowers your body temperature, so you think it's warm.
It thins
but
your blood. Yeah,
freeze over.
yeah.
Oh, that scene wouldn't have been fun
So
to
it's
do.
shooting where it thinks he's at.
Yeah.
Oh, anytime you got sparks hitting you, man.
Yeah, that's not fun. No.
'Cause he does
It's
a
not
couple of scenes. He does 2 scenes where he gets nailed by sparks falling. But then he's like, holy shit, he didn't see me. He couldn't see me.
Yeah, and that's where he realized.
This is absolutely caveman versus alien. It's because he doesn't have
completely.
any special weapons anymore.
But then he goes
All
all
right.
into ultra like entrapment and setting things up, making booby traps and killing corridors and all that stuff.
He's improvising.
Yeah. And this is really good because you just brought up a very important term. I can actually come back on camera now.
A killing
So,
corridor.
killing corridor and kill box, whatever you want to call these things. These are very important when you're trying to entrap an enemy. You're trying to funnel them a certain direction. And it's very clever what he does in this because you see all what he's doing, but you don't get an explanation of it. And he tricks you, the audience, not just the predator. He tricks the audience. Go ahead, do it, kill me, come get me. And then it's like, oh, I'm not falling for these blades. Fuck you. I'm going up over top. And he's like, that's what I wanted. And then he drops that fucking, half-ton fucking log on him. Nobody's getting up from that motherfucker.
Yeah, he actually makes a killing corridor in order to entrap him in a killing box.
Yep, a kill box.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because the
And,
killing
and
box
that's what he does. It's
zone.
one tactic to funnel him into the kill box.
Yeah,
it's fucking cool. This is such a great fucking film tactically, what he does here. I got another video here for you guys. Here you go.
Billy. What the hell is wrong with you? There's something in those trees.
I also like that each character had their own design for their faces.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't understand. They think that camo is to blend you in with your environment. No, it is not. Camouflage is designed to break up the human form because our eyes are trained to look for that. And by doing angles and weird shit with your face, it's not to blend your face in with the environment. It's to break up the shape of your face. Same thing with, your gear, the camo you wear.
Yeah, there's a technique people use as they wear something on their helmet to break the helmet because the helmet is round. You put some sort of fabric that is uneven just to break the shape of the helmet because you don't get really round shapes in
nature,
in dense area. So
turtles and things like that, but the fact is to break up the shape of your helmet is so important. Which the first time you see that is in World War II, when commandos would put shit in their fucking helmets, leaves and shit. And it's like, that helps you blend in a little bit, like the ghillie suit. But the fact is, it completely breaks up the human shape.
Yep,
the ghillie suit included. It's fucking brilliant psychological use of combat. So
Please!
So Shane Black bought it there instead of Chavez because he pissed off the producers and the director for not helping. That'll teach you, man.
Yeah.
This is such a cool scene with the flame, and it's so primal.
He yells into the jungle. It's like, "Come and get me." He doesn't say it, but it's sort of a.
He's making fun of your hats. Those fucking hats are so goofy. I swear to God.
The problem with the stupid hat thing to break the helmet is we don't have any jungles here. So it kind of looks like cloth running through some desert shit. It's weird, but it's to get you to notice the fact that if you see round shapes running through a field, then it's probably people.
Okay, have a good appointment. We'll see you later, Penny.
Yeah, those sparks are not fun, dude.
No. And I'm going to point out that I think what is so good about this film is how this thing has whittled it down to just this guy. And this guy just is so resilient that the Predator knows he still has the advantage without even his armor on. Decides to take all this armor off to fight him mano a mano and still kicks the shit out of him. But I also love the fact that you finally hear and see is from his POV. Humans sound like they're high-pitched.
Yep.
And he sees an infrared.
And the thing about the Predator and the information you get is mostly through the girl, that she tells you he comes in the most like hottest nights, and which we kind of understand he needs it because that's where the people are, their internal temperature is higher because the surrounding temperature is higher, so they heat up quicker. So that's it's like sort of a deduction that you do in your head while you're watching the movie. And the fact that he is going towards warriors or people with weaponry or people considered a valuable target, but only in Predator.
Here, the Predator uses geometry, by the way. I love this.
And only in Predator 2, you kind of get the explanation what the Predators are, which is they do it for sport. They do it for, for the trophy. You do see him with Billy's corpse because he tears off the skull and the spine while Arnold is getting ready to kill him. And we do see a trophy, but we don't really understand what is it for, what's going on. We just a deduction. If you only see this movie and know nothing about the Predator, you don't get that information. You do get it in Predators 2, and of course later on when kind of the lore gets filled up and expanded upon.
Yeah.
So all we know is that he wants to kill Dutch because he wants to kill the entire team, maybe. But you don't really get a satisfying explanation other than it's a guy that comes in when it's hot and he kills valuable targets. He considers, and they deduce that he considers them as a
And
valuable
I think
target.
that the reason why they choose the hot season is actually it's comfortable for them.
Could be. Again, it's not explained in this movie. It's like a deduction that they do, or you do in your head while you're watching this.
I really do love the visuals of this fight.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like, even with all the planning that he does, all the stuff that he does, he is really being hunted down for
Yeah.
real.
By the way, one of my favorite stunts, other than the big jump down into the river in the first place, is the scene where he jumps for that tree limb and the predator hits the limb. You see it explode, and then he tumbles and the limb goes down with him. I'm like, what a great shot.
Yeah, like I
McTiernan
said,
did a fantastic job with his DP on this.
McTiernan knows how to shoot an action movie. He does. And to be honest, he sort of perfected. He took what he can get from the Predator, and then he perfected it while doing Die Hard, the first Die Hard. It actually is much better. Die Hard became better because McTiernan worked stuff out here, which was great.
Exactly. Oh, good point, Tom. Agreed. I love this. They show this where he's holding him up to his face, so they're eye to eye now, and then it cuts to the next shot, and he's like his feet are off the ground. He's being held up in the air. He's like, "What are you?" And then the thing goes, "Tell you what, I'm going to let you go. You're going to find out." Takes off his mask and everything, and he gets the look on Arnold's face for the first time without the aid of his helmet. I love this shot.
One ugly
and he goes, "You're an ugly motherfucker."
That thing is ugly.
Yeah, I love the mandible fangs and the inner mouth like the alien. This again came about because of Stan Winston. Even though he did not work on the film, he sat and did a sketch on a plane. This should be your alien. This should be your predator. And Kevin Peter Hall is a fucking giant. I'm going to pause this so I can show a couple of photos to you. Let me get up here. Oh, shit. Hold on, I got to upload them.
Funny bit with Van Damme, the funny bit with Van Damme, he's just a short little guy, and Kevin Peter Hall is a tall ass dude, right? So you can have him stand mano a mano in front of Schwarzenegger and be looking more intimidating, even though he is wearing a suit.
He is 7'2", something like that. He's a giant.
He's also kind of muscular, but not beefy. The suit beefs him up a little bit.
Yep.
But he is muscular. Here's a good shot of him in the suit. And the suit only covers his actual muscles. Here's a rare photo that was taken by Chavez himself, our Chavez official, of the three of them. And that's Kevin Peter Hall. And again, Arnold is my height. He is 6'2", between 6'2" and 6'4", right in that area. I'm 6'3", and that guy's towering over him.
Yeah,
and there he is again in the costume, and he played the Predator in Predator 2, and he also played Harry in Henderson, the Bigfoot character.
Yep,
it was his last role before he died. There's where he says it. You are an ugly motherfucker.
Ugly motherfucker.
I'm sorry, I'm transfixed right now.
Yeah, me too.
I love this movie so much. I love the military aspects of it, and I just love it as an action film and a sci-fi film. I believe that sci-fi, horror, and military really go together. Aliens proves the point again. I heard it, Anima.
Yeah, she's next
Amelia.
to the other
Amelia,
chair.
that's her way of getting humans' attention.
No, I moved my foot and she felt that.
By the way, the beating that Arnold takes here is just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Just getting the shit knocked out of him. And that Arnold agreed to let somebody kick his ass is fucking awesome.
And I don't think he ever get kicked this hard in any other movie.
I don't
never seen him get his ass handed to him like this. And
yeah, he got his bell rung a couple of times in a couple more movies.
In Red Heat, his old buddy knocked the shit out of him at the Russian bathhouse.
Yeah, but
goes
that
through
was
the wall.
a year earlier than this, I think. Was it 80? Was it 88 or 86?
Hold on. Red Heat came out later, I think. Let me look.
Later than this?
It's 88. Yep. Came out a year later.
All right, cool.
A year later. And that's the one that pissed off a lot of people over his, he's using that Russian pistol. That's the equivalent of, he calls it the equivalent. It's better than the full Magnum.
Yeah.
And but anytime he fires it, there's no recoil, and it's like, I'm so strong, I keep it from recoil. Look, dude, you can't. Here, put a real one in your hand. Stop it from recoiling. I dare you. Come on, come get me. I'm right here. I love this moment right here. And it's like, no, I'm not that dumb. He goes, no, you're dumber, because he created this to lead him to going into the kill box. And the kill box is to get right under that fucking, 500-pound fucking log, possibly 800-pound log. I don't know. It's fucking big.
It is.
Dense wood.
Just the fact that the creature maybe not survived, but was conscious to actually activate the self-destruct was just tells you how robust that predator is supposed to be.
Well, it
And what I
takes
think
a fucking nuke to kill them off.
Well, this is it. I try to explain to people, why does he set the nuke off? He lost. I said, he can't leave any evidence of his existence.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it had to have destroyed the ship too. That the ship isn't nearby, that the minute he did what he did, there's a self-destruct on the ship too, because you can't leave evidence.
It could have been the ship itself that exploded.
It could be that, but it would be odd that the ship would be right there.
Yeah.
The odds of it being right where Arnold ended up being, highly unlikely.
Yeah, no.
What I believe is he set off probably two explosions, one bigger than the other, because he had to absolutely atomize his body.
Yeah.
And so he's laughing because you won, but you got to die with me. And so he's just laughing, and Arnold's like, I can run really fast.
Even with diarrhea.
With diarrhea.
That makes me even faster, maybe.
And he says it again here, because he delivers the line back to him, the predator does.
What the hell are you?
What the hell are you?
What are you?
He says it, and then it says, what the hell are you? And it's a great moment, because it is one warrior recognizing, you outwitted me. What the hell are you? How could you beat me? But then it fucking lifts its little wristband. He's like, Oh, and what's so great about this, even in an alien language, we all recognize the countdown clock. It's just something that we all recognize. We go, oh shit, run! And the only thing that saves him is he jumps off that ledge, and he's protected from going down below the blast. And another great thing about the ending on this is when it cuts to him standing there, he looks like he's standing heroically, right? Oh, this is Kevin Peter Hall right here. The other guy on the helicopter with the helmet looking down.
Really?
Oh,
yeah, they gave him a short scene because he did such great work and it was so exhausting to be in that suit all the time. They had to be.
He's the other guy in the helicopter with the helmet on.
Yeah, you were about to say he's to me, he actually looks defeated, not
he is broken.
He's somber. That is the look of a survivor who has just seen some shit. And it's not victorious looking at all. That expression on his face says everything. And even when he's in the helicopter, he keeps that look on his face. And I love that. That's proves again that he can fucking act. And I tell people, Arnold doesn't have to do it very often. But when he's been called upon to do it, he has done it.
A Pyrrhic victory. Yeah, I don't even think it's a Pyrrhic victory. I think he thinks he is defeated. And I think my partner in crime, Oh My Feelings, when we covered this a long time ago, he said that is the look of a guy that, you know, once he reaches hospital, gets cleaned up and everything, that's the face of your future PTSD.
That's it. It's called the 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's close. I've seen guys with that look. I've worked with them. And it's not, because even in the world, you know, as they call it, coming back to the world, they'll slip into it now and again. And you'll see it. But then they come right back out and they're talking to you like normal. And they'll have that normal look, but every once in a while, they'll just sit and they'll just be staring through everything. And it's called the 1,000-yard stare because they're not focusing on anything. They're just staring into the distance.
Yeah, they're reliving something.
Yep. And I'm looking to see if I can find that photo of him in the helicopter. Because, yeah, here it is. I found it. Save image. Because I was hoping it was in the movie clip, you know, in the film strip, but it's not. So that's okay. We can always upload it. So here we go. I'm uploading it now. I just love, just end it here. And the music is just so perfect because it has that military, but then when it does the echo sound behind that of the theme, it sounds like an alien. It doesn't sound like the drums naturally sound. And so you get the military aspect of it, and then you get the alien aspect of it. He also has this look of, I see it in there. I don't know if it was intentional, of that was just one. Because when he looks out of the helicopter, there's this moment where you feel that was just one of those fucking things. Yeah. There he is, Richard Chavez, Vietnam War vet, good fucking actor. Shane Black, hilarious, reading Sergeant Rock. That was stuff he added. Sonny Landham, former porn actor, turned tough guy. Jesse Ventura, fucking awesome, 80s guy, became a shitheel later. Bill Duke, God, I love this guy. What a great fucking actor. I don't know whatever happened to that girl. She's apparently in a clip in the second film. Because she's the only thing you see from the first film.
She's done a few things here and there.
Carl Weathers. Man. I love this fucking movie. I really do. So, and let me do this photo. There it is.
Oh, nice.
That is him. Kevin Peter Hall. Even the helmet doesn't look like it fits him quite right. He's so fucking huge.
I love that they did this though. That they had
I'm
him on
so
camera.
glad they did. Gave him another character to play in the film. Predator is a classic in so many ways. Classic science fiction, classic war action yarn, classic horror. Because the implications are horrifying that humans can be hunted as prey for another species. And I got to tell you, of all the other films, the one I like is Predators. There's problems within it. There's still some problems in it, but I actually really love the concept and the idea of a samurai confronting, turning and wanting to fight this thing mano a mano, just like Sonny did.
I dipped out after Predator 2. I've had no desire.
Predator 2 is not very good, but I mean, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. Look, Bill Paxton fucking hitting a predator with a golf ball. Come on, man. Trying to sleep with Alonzo Conchito, whatever her name is. She's so gorgeous. And it won't kill her because she's pregnant. That was neat. The subway scene is the best part of that fucking movie.
It's been so long since I watched it, and I've never got into any of the other movies. I've seen parts of other movies, plus I had no desire to see Alien versus Predator. It's just not for me.
I'm going to tell you what I said to a friend of mine when he said that he didn't like Devil and Miss Jones. And I said, revisit that movie in 20, 30 years. And he did. And he says, you know what? It's a lot better than I remember. I went, thank you. I rest my case. Devil and Miss Jones. That
I don't know how do we get?
I have no friend that I had that conversation with. It's all made up.
No, I mean, how did we get all the way back out to porn? I don't know, but
that's what I do. It's my shtick. I can turn anything into a conversation about porn. I love doing that.
All I know about the Devil and Miss Jones, other than what's going on in there, is Georgina Plevin played the hooker in Police Academy.
Yes. I love that.
People don't know that.
Tracy Lords is another one who actually is a pretty good actor.
She is
got her start.
That's the weird part.
The horrifying part is she was underage when she started in porn.
15 when she started.
People went to prison over that.
Yeah, I know. And there was a point where you could. And when I say there was a point, I mean up to about 5 or 6 years ago, there were some free, really big sites that had either scenes that she'd done or full-blown movies that she's done. You can watch them. I mean, again, if you don't know her age, you wouldn't think she's underage. Hold on.
You okay?
Yeah, my boy was just knocking the door. You can't see it. There's a round thing, but if it was full screen, you would have seen the door open. Yeah, he's going to bed in a bit. So, but it's not. So porn actors or actresses have sometimes made the switch and did like like Georgina Plevin did the Police Academy. What's her face? Not Tracy Lords, but the other really famous one. She started in the 80s. Can't remember. She's a blonde chick, and in Boogie Nights, she played the cinematographer's wife who keeps cheating on him, and he keeps like opening doors. It's like, oh, what are you doing now? It's like, shut up and close the door. And she's fucking somebody.
Finally goes in there and
shoots her and shoots himself. Yeah. I love Boogie Nights. It's so crazy.
I didn't think I was going to like it because I saw the trailer. I'm like, I don't Then I fucking
Doesn't
watched the
do it
movie. I'm like, that's a very good fucking movie.
Yeah, it's well written, well acted. There are some
And the
lull
story behind
moments,
Burt Reynolds on that one kind of like blows my mind. That because he distanced himself is what's reported as to why he didn't get the Oscar.
Oh, Burt Reynolds?
Yeah.
It's
because he hated the movie and he fired his agent over it.
I don't know what it was, but it was sort of the chicken and the egg with the Oscar bit. Because he did the movie, he expected a nomination, or he got the nomination and he expected an Oscar. And once he didn't get it, that's where he said he didn't like the movie, or was it the other way around? I don't remember when it kind of set that, oh, I didn't even like doing the movie, and I think it stinks. I think it's after he lost, where he like fired his agent and got like wanted to distance himself. I could be wrong, but yeah, it
said that he hated him after he finished the film, and that's when he fired his agent.
Okay,
that he hated the being in the movie. He just hated it,
and that's why he didn't get an Oscar.
And he refused to do any publicity for it. And it's because he distanced himself from the film and refusing to do publicity for it that led to him not getting the Oscars, what they said. It's an opinion piece that I read.
I'll tell you why I did
that actors that do the electing or do the deciding, that vote.
Okay. I'll tell you why he didn't win the Oscar. It's a very simple reason. He was up for Best Supporting Actor, and it was in the 1998, because the movie came out in 1997, right? It was the 1998 Oscars. Do you know who won the 1998 Best Supporting Actor?
I do not.
Robin Williams for Good Will Hunting. So
and he deserved that.
There is a good reason why Burt Reynolds wasn't voted. It's not because he wasn't liked in Hollywood. It wasn't because of anything, because Good Will Hunting had, first of all, Robin Williams's like work on the movie was, you cannot tell me anything. Like, there's no special speech. There are some special moments that Burt Reynolds does because he's such a great actor. But Robin Williams has two big, large moments that are heavy hitting. One where he speaks to Matt Damon's character in the park. He has that massive speech. And the other one where he says it's not your fault, where it causes Matt Damon's character to just take it all in, and that's his catharsis. That's a big moment in the movie. So yeah, that's why Burt Reynolds really didn't win the Oscar. But he was there and he was pissed. I remember. I think
it's good. I think that's a good argument. I agree. Because Robin Williams really stole that fucking show.
Yeah,
and I love that later he used the line that he improvised again in the film, because Will uses his line at the end of the film, and he goes, "A little son of a bitch stole my line."
Yeah, there were a few moments in there where, again, in that moment of the catharsis where they cry and hug, and Matt Damon's like, "Are we allowed to hug as a therapist?" And he says, "Only if you touch my ass."
Only if you touch me.
Great, and that was an ad-lib line. And there are moments where they talk in the office where Robin was reportedly going ad-lib, and there's a moment where the
whole fart story is hilarious. He made it up
moves
on the spot, and
the camera moves because the cinematographer was laughing so hard behind it. It was great. I love that movie so much. I love both of those movies. Like Boogie Nights and Good Will Hunting are so good.
And both of them had been acting. Ben Affleck and what's his face?
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Matt
I always
Damon.
call him Will just because
Both were acting. But that movie made him. They put him on the map.
his acceptance speech was really special because Billy Crystal was hosting. And he got up and was like, "Oh, I want to thank Matt and Ben and guys. I still want to see IDs." That's like because they were fucking young. He he thanked Weinstein. Is like, "Oh, I want to thank Harvey and the Weinstein Mishpucha." I was like, "Yeah, it's a Miramax film."
Yeah, buddy.
It's all good.
The maker of a lot of stars.
The maker of Kings.
He fucked up and he paid a price for it. Not a fan of Billy Crystal, although his new series for Apple looks good. I like his last series. Look, Billy Crystal has only done two great things in cinema for me. One was City Slickers, the first movie. That's second. And whatchamacallit?
Please
oh my
say
God.
When Harry Met Sally.
You know what? I do like that film. All right, I don't think it's great cinema, but I do like that film because everything he said in there was my attitude in the 80s. And I'm like, wow, somebody is actually saying what goes on in my head, that men and women can't be friends, and because there's always that. Well, what about the fat ugly ones? Even the fat ugly ones.
The whole point is that whole movie is based on conversation between Rob Reiner and Efron. What's her face? Not Sarah Efron.
Nora Ephron.
Yeah.
Nora Ephron.
It's sort of a conversation between both of them. They just added in the romantic thing later because they built it up as a romantic comedy, but it's built off of their conversation after Rob Reiner just got divorced. It's a special movie. I truly love it because at the end of the day, where they're both hugging and loving and all that stuff, Billy Crystal's opinion wins. At the end,
Princess Bride. I just remembered. Princess Bride's the other one. I thought he was great in
you
it.
love Billy Crystal in? He's like in.
Yeah, I loved him in
5 minutes.
He's one of the best scenes in the film. Yeah, I know. It's one of the best scenes in the film. Miracle Max.
Yeah, he's
he's cracking everybody up.
And so Billy Crystal plays Billy Crystal in the movie. Just with makeup.
Yeah. I liked his stand-up, which was basically storytelling, and I liked that he had a love for baseball like I did growing up, and I love his baseball stories with his father, I don't know. I really do consider him a national treasure. I really do. I like Billy Crystal. Anyway, we need to wrap up.
We're
it was fun talking
40
about this
minutes
movie.
too late, right?
Well, we were 30 minutes ending the film strip, so we've gone over 12 minutes from the film strip. But we're over because of the fact I kept pausing it because I wanted to make sure we talked about a certain scene, and the helicopter scene was one of my favorites because that's when they realized their intel was misleading, and they know something's fucked up. Situation's foobar. So I guess we will do my little thing here, my little shtick, as they say in the old Yiddish. Shtick. I learned a lot of Yiddish because my family's Jewish, right? Yeah. I've told you that, the Abrams. And I used to get Yiddish all the time around me when I was a kid from them. And then I would be a dick right back. I'm Irish Catholic, so I would eat the crap out of pork at Christmas. Oh, this shit's so good. I love this ham. Oh my God, it melts in my mouth. You want some, Michael? Oh, you can't have any. Oh.
It's weird.
My family are dicks.
I do it too.
My family is like everybody. Well, my brother Jim. Oh yeah, because once they became Catholic, The entire family eventually converted, including Michael, but he ended up going Catholic, and then he converted to Baptist for his wife. And he, even though she didn't want to have the Star of David on his tombstone, the family fought her on it, and so the Star of David is on there along with the crucifix. So
Gerry just traumatized. I think everybody else is traumatized besides me and Gerry.
Because like all the stuff that you guys called trauma was just spice of life for me. It's like, oh yeah. They're like, what happened? I'll tell them, and they'll go, did that fuck you up? And I'm like, well, I mean, maybe you think I'm fucked up, but I like my life. I just have a funny look at things. And my sister Luann even said that one time. She said, you know, my sister Luann is the New York Jew. She actually says things to me like, this is why Culture Casino calls me Gerry. It's because he heard that story about my sister Luann, because that's what my sister Luann calls me, is Gerry. And she'll say this to me. Now, don't forget to give me a phone call, Gerry. Cool. It is so New York. And she's the one who teaches me all the recipes. I love the liver pate that my family makes. And I mean, it's so fucking good, dude. Beef liver.
It's not even Jewish. It's Eastern European. And it's not
Eastern European, but those Eastern European Jews that came here brought that recipe with them.
Yeah, and
so
I think I told you this.
Considered a Jewish treat.
It is kind of, because the original recipe is with either pig's liver or cow's liver, but because
which is not kosher
in Eastern Europe were even poor.
Well, cow's liver is
pretty good. It's just in America,
the cow's liver is kosher. Pig's liver is not.
Yeah, I know, but cow's liver is expensive, but chicken liver is less expensive. And
cheaper.
You can grow, like, poor people had chickens running around the house regardless. So they would have had access to it, not every day, but every other week, when you can actually slaughter a chicken and make a Sabbath dinner. You would have used every.
Well, this was the whole thing. Because, like, my family were my father and his mother and that side of the family were Depression era, and they raised chickens, and some of the chickens were for eating, and some of them for making eggs, and some of those eggs were meant for making new chickens.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they would recycle. Like, they would make new chickens, and when they were old enough, they would slaughter them. And my grandmother made, like, oh my God, fucking fried chicken liver in a cast iron skillet, breaded. Nobody made it better than my grandma growing up, man. I've had it since. None of it comes close to what she would make. The searing that she did that left such a flavor, that slight blackening of the breading.
Like I said, because a cow is kosher, everything in it is kosher. And people think like the Jews control the world with banking and everything. That's a 18th century and up, 19th century and up notion. Mostly it's really, really poor communities, even poorer than the poors of that, like wherever they lived. That's why everything is like the culture of eating every single part of a chicken or a cow is big in Judaism.
Yeah, waste not. It's also from the southern states with the black community in the South, that every part of the cow was eaten, every part of the pig was eaten. But I got to leave this up to something, because somebody said something about, I hate chickens, 11 alpha. So here's my response to that. I would not eat chicken skin as a kid because it grossed me out. Because I knew those chickens lived in filth, and I did not want to eat the skin. But I eventually got over that because I know that the way they raise chickens there are different than the ones that lived on the farm. Two is the fact that I interviewed Josh Becker many years ago, and I did a mock version of the interview. But I did say this to him in real life, and I'm hoping you find this amusing what I said to him, because Josh Becker is Jewish. His family is very Jewish. Actually, a lot of except for Bruce Campbell are Jewish, and Bruce is the only guy in that group that wasn't Jewish, out of Detroit area, and part of the Detroit Mafia. And so I said this to him one time. I said, "Do you know how I know Jews don't run Hollywood?" And he says, "How?" I said, "Because your career sucks."
There are a lot of Jews in the entertainment industry. Just most of them are not in production or producers. Right.
They're not in production or in charge. Yeah, we got to get going. But you like that, what I said to him?
There we go.
Oh,
I have to go. Now I have to go.
Come on.
He was
Come
waiting
on
for me.
Tell
Bye,
Gerry
everybody.
says hi.
Subscribe to my channel and subscribe to this
See you
channel.
later.
See ya.
All right. See you, Mephisto. God, man, that's fun. I hate ending a show with him. I just fucking like hanging out with him. Sure, my girlfriend's like, "I would like some time with you today."
You're reading my mind, asshole.
But that's it, guys. I guess. Yeah, I know. So let's see. Let me get this thing going. Get the branding. Get the mirror. Where's the mirror? I need my mirror. There's no mirror. I gotta go to the main folder, I guess. There it is. It's gonna take a second to load on my screen. It's not loading. There it is. So, yeah, I see it now. I want to thank Sci-Fi Mombi, Glenn Fleming, one of my closest Limey friends, Glenn Fleming. Real Wade. I've actually known him for a while, Glenn Fleming. And he's also a co-worker of mine now. He works with me over at Warrior Publishing. Real Wade, Nation Gaming. And I will promise not to shit. I don't drink Mexican water. And apparently neither does Martin. Scribe Light. Andy Morrow. Snortopupus Cuber. Penny. She already left, but we'll see you later, Penny. 11 Alpha. Cam's Crash Courses. Poker Ace 66666. I always thought it was Face for some reason because of the song. Anyway, John the Beagle Dad, Jeebus. Today is Werewolf Jeebus. Well, this month. Bush McFadden. Where's his video? Where's his video? Play his video, Martin. Are you even here, Martin? Play the video, Martin.
Maybe he fell asleep.
He does that. He doesn't get much sleep. I'm looking. I don't see.
I can find it.
I don't see. Oh, thank you. The Bush video.
I can't find it.
Bush doesn't get his video today. Fuck you, Bush.
No. Yeah.
Neither does Tim.
We are going to be moving studios soon. I'll talk more about that before we go. Tom Baker, Bumpy Johnson, and Peter Vickman's fan site, Vickman's Girl. FKC 2005, also known as Tim. And Play It Again, Sam. What is it? Mephisto?
Yeah.
What the fuck was that about? What is that? Play It Again, Sam. Was that a person or
you wanted
say?
Martin to play it, so I said play it against Sam.
Oh, there you go. Play It Again, Sam. Okay, I thought it was a person. So that's it. I named everybody. We're done.
I thought you were into movies, Gerry.
I am, and that's he didn't actually say that line. That's how much of a nerd I am.
I know.
He didn't. Yeah, it's like he didn't actually say that line. he says something different. He says,
Yeah,
play that
he
song
says,
again. You know the
Sam,
one.
why don't-
You know the one.
Yeah, he says something about Sam, won't you play that tune again or something?
The one she liked. You know the one. And I like that. That's a great line. It is.
Fine.
Did you find the Bush video? Where the
No.
fuck did that
I don't
video
think
go?
Bush is even here. He
It
was
said
here.
he was here.
Yes, but he has to go.
And that's why I can say, fuck you, Bush. He left, so, he doesn't get his video. Tim gets his video because Tim is here. I didn't see Kyle today, though.
By what name are you known?
There are some.
It's fucking Tim. I interrupted the video.
It's almost 3 hours. Let Martin go.
Fuck out of here. Loves this stuff. Martin doesn't ever end a show. Ask him. Nobody's going to ask him
I don't care. I have like 10 more minutes.
forever.
No, I have 10 more minutes before the Z wife is heading through Z door and getting my ass Z killed.
Well, I will end the show with this, with my boss.
Dragon!
That's my boss, Dale Dye, his first movie. All right, we're the fuck out of here. Hey, everybody, it's Monday. Try to have a good week this week. We'll see you again on Hump Day. Well, I will. And we'll be moved, hopefully, by then to the new studio because StreamYard has decided. Hopefully, you won't notice. It'll be tough getting all the videos over. That's the hardest part. But we should be moved over by Wednesday for our show.
You're doing Restream?
No, we're doing StreamYard, but because Martin started his own account and it's for some reason still $10. I think it's going to end even there because he's south of the border, so maybe that's why. Because Mexico is a poorer, depressed economy. So here in America, it's $44.95.
Yeah, that's what I paid.
I'm not doing it. I'm not going to pay that. They don't offer enough for me to pay that much. So
you could do the free version, but I don't think you can get more than
fuck
3 people.
I'm done. I'm done. That is such a shitty. They got new owners. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
And I got a warning back in September. I got a warning in September that this was coming, and they absolutely cut our break price.
I've done Restream. I've done EVMux, and I said, well, I know StreamYards has like up their money thing, but I just have to.
They take 4 times as much now. That is not okay.
I know.
It's not okay to
Without
just
improving
arbitrarily just up it by that much. Because we were paying before that, the full price was basically $20-some. And I was fine with even that for quite a while. And 44?
I paid 10 for the past 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. So, as you guys, what? Yeah, that is the way. So, we're out here, guys. Have a good week, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Bye now.